Chapter 352. So her boyfriend is Qin Chu. You might be mistaken. I think they're more than just boyfriend and girlfriend. You'd better get your people to check it out. Huh. Okay. The trial is over. My little sister Mian is fine, so I'm relieved. Let's go to a party. Want to go? No. So you refused immediately. Too bad, then I'll go by myself. After speaking, Huasiqian stretched, got into his Maserati, and drove away. What's wrong? You don't look right. Wei Liao went to the washroom. When he came out, Huamin and the others had already left, so he didn't know what happened. Nothing, let's go. After seeing Qin Chu hold Huamin's hand and kiss it again and again, Su Yu felt uncomfortable. He didn't want to talk or move. Qin Chu, Huamin, and the others drove 4 cars and showed up at a famous restaurant in the city, first-class Royal Palace. Qin Chu ordered a table of food in a luxurious private room on the top floor. It was said to be the most expensive and luxurious meal in the history of first-class Royal Palace. The price of the meal was as high as 188,000 yuan, not including the drinks. Qin Chu brought the wine himself. He brought 2 bottles of his precious red wine, which was very expensive and rare. Gao Ran saw the red wine and laughed wildly. You really put in a lot of money this time. We're all riding on your wife's coattails. I wanted to ask Uncle Dennis Wu to come with us, but he said he had to go back to the States. Huamin was a bit disappointed. Dennis's time is precious. Don't worry about him. We'll just eat. You're so capable, kid. Tell us, how do you know Dennis Wu? Gao Ran was a criminal investigator, so he had heard of Dennis Wu's name a long time ago. Qin Chu poured a glass of wine and replied casually, "We were friends when we were in the States. After Mian's incident, I called him and he came without hesitation. Do your parents know that you're so awesome?" Gao Ran looked at Qin Chu with admiration. Qin Chu ignored him and looked at Huamin. "Do you want dessert first?" "No, let's drink first." Huamin was in a good mood and insisted on not having dessert first. "Our little drunkard loves wine, but we can't let her drink too much or she'll lose her composure." Zhu Lingling smiled. "I know that very well," Qin Chu replied mysteriously. Huamin was so angry that he secretly pinched Qin Chu's thigh under the table. "Whoa, are you trying to do something? We're in public, control yourself." "We're here." Gao Ran smiled wickedly. "You guys are so dirty, I don't want to talk to you." Huamin purposely looked away. She didn't want to listen to Gao Ran's dirty jokes, because he always teased her and Qin Chu. Her relationship with Qin Chu was still very pure. Okay? Zhou Guangming was sentenced to 7 years. How satisfying. Dennis Wu is so good. He made Zhou Guangming dumbfounded. Gao Ran raised his glass and exclaimed, "Zhou Guangming's family is more powerful." Although he was sentenced to 7 years on the surface, he might be released soon if he used money to manipulate the situation. Will he take revenge on us, then? Zhu Lingling heard from Deng Kai that the Zhou family was very vengeful, so she was still a little worried. Don't worry, they won't have a chance. Qin Chu always liked to eliminate the source of trouble. Yeah, that's not something we need to worry about, okay? Come on, let's toast to our goddess Hua's successful escape from danger. Let's hope that goddess Hua has a godlike husband. She has a husband. How can you be honored? Zhu Lingling glared at Gao Ran. I'm happy for Huamin, okay? Then I'm happy for Qin Chu, because he married the best wife in the world. Zhu Lingling didn't back down. You guys are really good friends, even the way you talk is the same. Huamin chuckled. The 4 of them raised their glasses. The moment they drank, the door to the private room opened. Sorry, I'm late. The petite figure at the door smiled, as if she wasn't embarrassed at all. When everyone looked over, they were a little surprised. If they remembered correctly, this girl was the one Gao Ran brought over last time. He said he wanted to date her, right? But who could tell them? Why was she here? Huamin was confused. Who is she? Out of the 4 of them, Zhu Lingling was the only one who didn't know this girl, so she asked curiously. Chapter 353. She's Gao Ran's girlfriend, I think so. Huamin stuttered as he felt weird. Why are you here? Gao Ran was surprised to see Lin Xuejiao. He remembered that he asked for leave today. He didn't tell her where he was, right? After Lin Xuejiao and Gao Ran spent some time together, Gao Ran decided to give up. If it wasn't for Huamin's accident, he would have explained everything to her. After all, he couldn't tolerate a girl with princess syndrome. In comparison, a tomboy is better, right? At least people should live a more realistic life, right? How can she live her life if she's coy and pretentious all the time? Isn't that just putting on an act? Ah, I was shopping over there and saw your car parked at the entrance. I thought you were having a date with another beauty behind my back. So you were here with your friends. Sorry, I misunderstood you. After speaking, Lin Xuejiao didn't wait for Gao Ran to speak. She walked to Gao Ran's side and sat down on a stool. Wait, don't you have to work today? LV is having a sale in the afternoon, so I asked for leave from my boss. I came here with my friends to buy some bags. It's a good deal. It's only 9,000 yuan. It's cheap, right? After speaking, Lin Xuejiao took off the bag on her shoulder and showed it. When she saw her sitting next to Gao Ran, Zhu Lingling didn't know why, but she felt uncomfortable. She couldn't describe the feeling, but she felt uncomfortable. I haven't seen this beauty before. You are? Lin Xuejiao looked at Zhu Lingling and asked. Zhu Lingling. Zhu Lingling introduced herself. Hello, I'm Lin Xuejiao. I'm Gao Ran's girlfriend. I know, you said it before. You don't have to repeat the same thing. After all, we're all young, and our memories aren't that bad. Zhu Lingling said seriously. Haha, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention it just now. Lin Xuejiao didn't say much and just smiled. Then, she held on to Gao Ran's arm intimately. Zhu Lingling didn't say anything. She only talked to Huamin occasionally and completely ignored them. Ever since Lin Xuejiao came, they weren't as free as before and couldn't talk about anything. Therefore, they ate in silence. President Qin, I heard that GK developed a high-end property in the new northern district near the Golden Coast. Is that true? Qin Shu was a man of few words. I heard that the market hasn't opened yet, but the price has already risen to 20 to 30,000 yuan per square meter. What kind of price will it be? I'm very curious. Lin Xuejiao looked at Qin Shu with a coquettish voice. This is decided by the board of directors. The final decision hasn't been made yet. If Gao Ran and I want to buy a new house after we get married, can you give us a discount? After speaking, Lin Xuejiao leaned her head on Gao Ran's shoulder and pretended to be intimate with him. Qin Shu glanced at Gao Ran and faintly said, If he gets married, I'll give him a house. Really? That's great. Thank you, President Qin. Here's a toast to you. After speaking, Lin Xuejiao picked up her wine glass. Huamin grabbed Qin Shu's wine glass and said with a smile, My husband has to drive later. I'll drink for him. Then, he drank a glass with Lin Xuejiao. Zhu Lingling couldn't stand it anymore. She patted Huamin's shoulder and said, Girl, I have to go now. Let's meet another day. I'll treat you guys then. Okay, I'll send you a WeChat message later. Huamin knew that Zhu Lingling never liked pretentious bitches, so he didn't stop her. When Zhu Lingling left, she didn't even say goodbye to Gao Ran. She directly ignored his existence. Gao Ran wanted to send Zhu Lingling off, but he was entangled by Lin Xuejiao. In fact, after that night, Gao Ran always felt that there was something between him and Zhu Lingling. It was a pity that a good meal was ruined by Lin Xuejiao. Not long after Lin Xuejiao left, Qin Shu and Huamin also left, and the meal was over. Huamin was the first to go out and reverse the car, while Qin Shu paid the bill. When he paid the bill, he saw Su Yu and Wei Liao walk in. Actually, it was purely a coincidence that they came here to eat. It was Wei Liao's idea, and Su Yu just tagged along. He didn't expect to see Qin Shu here. The moment their eyes met, sparks flew everywhere. Su Yu felt that the way Qin Shu looked at him was thought-provoking. Perhaps he already knew something. Huamin, I'm determined to win. In the end, Su Yu's first sentence was actually a challenge to Qin Shu. Chapter 354. You sure talk big. Qin Shu sneered. I've always been a man of my word. I've lived for over 20 years, and there's never been anything that I couldn't get. Really? Then I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed this time. No one can take Huamin away from me. No one, including you. Qin Shu's tone was extremely domineering, as if he was announcing to the whole world. Let's wait and see. Suyu's lips curled up slightly as he turned to leave. Chin Chu snorted and walked out of the restaurant. Then, he got in the passenger seat of Huamin's Volkswagen CC. How'd you get in? Where's your car? I called the company and asked them to drive it away. Oh, why? Because I want to sit in your car. My driving skills are terrible, Huamin emphasized. Then I like it too. Okay, Mr. Chin, hold on tight. In the end, Huamin drove Chin Chu towards Imperial Park. On the way, Huamin asked depressingly, Gao Ran's girlfriend seems to be very strict. She won't even let go of a gathering with us. The more she acts like this, the harder it is for them to be together. Gao Ran's personality isn't suitable for this type of woman, Chin Chu analyzed. I think so too. A tough girl like Ling Ling is more suitable for him. Unfortunately, they don't see eye to eye. How do you know they don't see eye to eye? Am I wrong? Hey, look at your eyes. Why do I feel like you know something? Huamin felt like something was wrong, so he asked Chin Chu. I don't know anything. You're thinking too much. Chin Chu didn't want to say more, so he only smiled. Then, he leaned back in the passenger seat. He wasn't surprised by Suyu's declaration of war just now. Suyu had been investigating Huamin, and his men had been trying to stop him. At that time, he already knew what Suyu was trying to do. It was nothing more than the fact that he was interested in his Huamin. However, Huamin could only belong to him, and no one else in this world could take her away from him. 3 days later, the local news was that Tianfu Mining Company was facing bankruptcy, and its shares were forcibly purchased by a mysterious company. The Zhou family's debt instantly exceeded 100 million. They were unable to repay it and mortgage the company. The young master of the Zhou family had been imprisoned for 7 years for many crimes. The Zhou family, which had once been nouveau riche, no longer had their arrogance. Within 3 days, he had become a rat that everyone wanted to beat up. Mrs. Zhou was sick in bed. The daughter of the Zhou family, Zhou Guanghui, went around begging people to borrow money, but she was unable to borrow a single cent. Her good friend from the past couldn't wait to avoid her. Even the rich young masters who had an ambiguous relationship with her had blacklisted her. For a moment, the Zhou family felt the hypocrisy of the world. Where are you going? Zhou Guanghui's mother asked weakly when she saw that she was dressed to the nines and was about to leave. A friend of mine told me that the mysterious company that bought our mining company is a subsidiary of the GK Corporation. So, I want to talk to the boss of the GK Corporation. As long as he's willing to let us go, I'm willing to sleep with him. I'm so sorry. The mother and daughter sat there and daydreamed. In reality, did she want to sleep with Chin Chu? She was dreaming. In this world, other than Huamin, no one could get within half a meter of Chin Chu. This was something that everyone at GK knew. The new president was cold and arrogant and didn't want to get close to women. When Zhou Guanghui went to the GK Corporation, she was stopped at the front desk because she didn't have an appointment. Therefore, she had been waiting for GK's president to get off work so that she could find an opportunity to stop him. Zhou Guanghui had already done some research on the internet. She knew that Chin Chu was a very handsome man, so she was very happy. She thought that she had a great body. If she took the initiative, no man would reject her, right? During rush hour, Zhou Guanghui couldn't stay calm as she watched employees walk out of the company one after another. Finally, Chin Chu was escorted out of the president's private elevator by his assistant, Yang. Chapter 355. Goodbye, President Chin. Goodbye, President Chin. See you tomorrow, President Chin. Many executives greeted Chin Chu. Chin Chu nodded slightly, but didn't say anything. Just then, Zhou Guanghui rushed up to Chin Chu. President Chin, wait a second. Chin Chu looked at the unfamiliar woman in front of him and frowned slightly. Miss, who are you? Assistant Yang was a little worried. He was afraid that an unknown person would disturb the CEO. President Chin, can you give me a chance to speak? I'm begging you. Zhou Guanghui begged with tears in her eyes. Under normal circumstances, men would take pity on her. However, Chin Chu was no ordinary man. Were the security guards? Since when did GK allow people to come and go as they please? Chin Chu asked coldly. Captain of the security guards, where the hell are they? Come here and drag this woman away, Assistant Yang immediately ordered. President Qin, I'm Zhou Guanghui. Please let Tianfu Mining live. I'll do anything. I can satisfy all of your requests, Zhou Guanghui said anxiously. All of my requests. Qin Chu glanced at her coldly. Yes, I'll satisfy all of your requests. Please let us live. You sure think highly of yourself, Qin Chu said coldly. President Qin, the mistake that your Zhou family has made is unforgivable. Even if the heavens come to plead for you, it's useless. I think you should stop struggling. If you know what's good for you, sell the last of your old house, leave the city, and never come back. Otherwise, your days will only get worse. After giving her a piece of advice, Qin Chu stood up and left. President Qin, don't go. Zhou Guanghui came today wearing a low-necked miniskirt that hugged her hips. Unexpectedly, Qin Chu didn't even look at her. It seemed like everything was in vain. After being kicked out by GK's security guards, Zhou Guanghui completely gave up on trying to seduce Qin Chu. Of course, she didn't know how she offended GK. She thought that her company and GK were in a vicious competition. What she didn't know was that her brother, Zhou Guangming, that wastrel, had completely offended Qin Chu when he angered Huamin. Therefore, the Zhou family could be destroyed in a short period of time. A high-end clubhouse in the city. Why are you still unhappy? Didn't the little girl win the lawsuit? You also have Dennis Wu's support. How awe-inspiring. Wei Liao comforted Su Yu when he saw that Su Yu was still sulking. Su Yu refused to speak and just kept drinking. Just then, Tang Chuan walked over. Lord Su, did you do this to Tianfu Mining? Huh, you're ruthless. Not even a speck of dust is left. What a tragedy. Zhou Guanghui is looking for people to sleep with her and ask for financial support. What does that have to do with me? Weren't you the one who did it? Tang Chuan and Wei Liao both knew that Zhou Guangming offended a girl who Su Yu was most interested in recently. It wasn't me. That's weird. Could it be someone else? Could it be Hua Xiqian? Wei Liao thought that Hua Xiqian and Huamin were siblings. Hua Xiqian was also present at the trial, so it could be him. So you still didn't say anything. He was only thinking about how to win against Qin Chu. Evening when Qin Chu came home, Huamin immediately grabbed his hand and said, Let's go, honey. Let's go out and play. Go on, play. Where are we going? Qin Chu was confused. I found a good place. Let's have dinner there. It's very lively. You'll definitely like it. After speaking, Huamin didn't wait for Qin Chu to speak and pulled him out. After taking a few steps, Huamin suddenly thought of something. All right, we can't leave yet. Change into this first. What is this? Qin Chu asked in a muffled voice when he saw that Huamin was holding something red in his hand. Chapter 356. Try it on first, Huamian said mysteriously, unwilling to say more. Qin Chu had no choice but to take it and walk into the bedroom. He took off his business shirt and put on the one Huamin gave him. When Qin Chu changed, he didn't try to hide it from Huamin. He took off all his clothes and was completely naked. Huamin didn't turn his head away in embarrassment and looked at him openly. Then, she secretly sighed. Her Mr. Qin's body was really amazing. His skin wasn't very fair, but it was still very attractive. It was a very good-looking body. Men should be like this, right? A minute later, Qin Chu put on the clothes Huamin gave him. He looked at Huamin and asked, What's this? It's the same as mine. It's a couple outfit, Huamin said as he pointed at the red t-shirt he was wearing. Qin Chu, so, do I have to wear this Mickey Mouse thing and go out to meet people? Qin Chu had never worn a cartoon before. It was his first time wearing one, and it was in such an eye-catching color. He really wasn't used to it. I think it's great. What are you afraid of? Ahem. Can I choose not to wear it? Qin Chu pressed his nose and asked in a suppressed voice. Sure, but you have to go back to your room tonight. Forget it, I'll wear it. It looks pretty good. In order to not be kicked out of his room, Qin Chu had no choice but to wear the cartoon t-shirt against his will. Where did you buy this? A few days ago. Where did you buy it? Taobao bought it online. Qin Chu. Okay, you win. So, under Huamin's tyranny, Qin Chu had no choice but to put on the cartoon couple outfit and go out with Huamin. Aren't we driving? No, we're taking the bus today. Huamin seemed to be in a good mood. Carrying a black bag with a cartoon on it, she held Qin Shu's hand and smiled. Qin Shu could tell that she was in a good mood, so he didn't continue to pour cold water on her. The two of them took the bus that circled the city. After 30 minutes, they finally got off at an old district in eastern Zhejiang. At 7 o'clock in the evening, the place was brightly lit and bustling. What do you think? We have a lot of people, right? Huamin asked proudly. Night market? Yeah, it's been open for more than 3 years. I come here every year, but it only lasts for a short period of time. Once it snows, it stops. It only lasts for 2 months at most. It's very lively. The most important thing is that there's a lot of delicious food. Huamin grew up as a commoner, so he liked these down-to-earth things. Although Qin Shu didn't particularly like it, Huamin liked it, so he definitely wouldn't spoil the fun. The two of them walked hand in hand on the street of the night market. Looking at the people coming and going, the atmosphere was exceptionally good. Hey, they're hitting dolls again. I want to try. After saying that, Huamin pulled Qin Shu into the market. About 3 meters away, there were many stuffed animals. On the other side, there was a plastic basket. Inside were cloth bags. On the sign, it said 1 yuan per try. Many people were playing, but not many of them won. Maybe it was because of the distance and the fact that the bags were lighter. Boss, give me 10. Okay. After taking the 10 yuan from Huamin, the boss handed over 10 bags. Huamin took out 5 bags and gave them to Qin Shu. We'll each take half. Let's see who wins more. What do I get if I win? Qin Shu asked in a low voice. I'll treat you to a meal. Not enough. Qin Shu was obviously not very satisfied. I'll treat you to a smoothie. Not interested. Then what do you want? Huamin asked back. If I win, you have to take off all your clothes tonight and let me hug you. Pervert. Huamin's face immediately turned red. What do you think? Do you dare? Qin Shu tried to provoke him. Why wouldn't I dare? But what if you lose? Huamin was full of confidence. Then I'll take off all my clothes and let you hug me. Qin Shu, screw you. Why did Huamin feel like he would be at a disadvantage regardless of whether he won or lost? Let's start. You have to keep your word. After speaking, without waiting for Huamin to speak, Qin Shu threw out a doll without any warning. Miraculously, he smashed a doll. It was a Changjiang 7 doll. I feel like I'm going to lose. Huamin looked worried. Chapter 357. It's your turn, honey. Qin Shu smiled gently. Huamin felt like every time he smiled, it was a gentle trap. Huamin didn't know if he was distracted or if he didn't use enough strength, but when she threw a cloth bag at him, he missed. When it was Qin Shu's turn, Qin Shu once again hit a SpongeBob SquarePants. They were all Huamin's favorite toys, but she wasn't happy because she felt like she was going to lose. Soon, all 10 cloth bags were thrown, and Qin Shu hit 5 out of 5. Huamin hit 2 out of 5, so the result was obvious. You lost, so when we get home? Qin Shu didn't finish his sentence, but Huamin knew what he was going to say. How about 2 out of 3? Huamin quickly asked. No. Then, Mr. Qin proudly turned around and walked away. Huamin ran to catch up with him, holding 7 stuffed animals in her hands. She looked very cute. Honey, I'm so hungry. What do you want to eat? Let's find a place to get some snacks. The snacks here are really authentic. What do you like? Qin Shu came back to his senses and took the stuffed animals from Huamin's hands. He gently brushed the bangs on her forehead. How about hot and sour noodles? It's super delicious when paired with 1,000-layer pancakes, Huamin said excitedly. Okay, no matter what she asked for, Qin Shu would satisfy her, and never once did he go against her wishes. Huamin thought that the reason she rarely fought with Qin Shu was because Qin Shu would listen to her on most things. He wouldn't purposely go against her, because these were all small things in their daily lives. The two of them sat in front of a food stall with 2 bowls of hot and sour noodles and 2 portions of 1,000-layer pancakes. Let's dig in. Huamin rubbed her chopsticks with her small hands and started eating. Qin Shu also slowly picked up his chopsticks, lowered his head, and ate slowly. To be honest, he almost never ate food like this because he always thought it was unhygienic. But if Huamin liked to eat, he would eat with her, even if he knew he would have diarrhea Gao Ran said that his love for Huamin wasn't just the love between husband and wife, it was the love of indulgence, love, and spoiling love. Even if Huamin wanted to kill someone, Qin Shu would say that he would always support his wife no matter what she did. This was blind loves blind, love loves is the success, and loves is blindly. So I have to cherish her. That was right. There were so many people in the world, and not many people would meet someone's made them fall madly in love with her. So, Qin Shu felt that Huamin was God's gift to him, and he would never squander the love between him and Huamin. Is it good? Huamin looked up and asked as she ate. Yes. Qin Shu nodded. Eat more if it's good. I put a little too much chili. I'll have a bite of yours. Qin Shu looked at Huamin's bowl and said eagerly. Huamin didn't think much of it. She picked up a few strands of hot and sour noodles and fed them to Qin Shu. Her actions were very intimate. Qin Shu carefully went over and took the strands of hot and sour noodles from Huamin. He was instantly filled with happiness. When he was in America, he never thought that a day like this would come. On a simple night like this, he and Huamin were wearing matching couple outfits, walking through a bustling night market, eating hot and sour noodles that Huamin personally fed him. It was like a dream, so happy, yet so unreal. For a moment, Qin Shu was a little distracted, and his expression was dazed. What's wrong? Huamin asked curiously. Chapter 358. Nothing. Qin Shu immediately came back to his senses. Why were you in a daze? I was just thinking about something that happened in the States. Huh? Did you have girls in the States who went shopping and eating with you like this? Huamin was full of jealousy. No, there were no girls in the States, Qin Shu answered firmly. I believe you. Seeing how serious Qin Shu was, Huamin decided not to tease him anymore. After they finished eating, they walked past the ice cream shop. Unable to resist Huamin's coaxing, Qin Shu gave her a vanilla ice cream. Huamin bought a chocolate ice cream. She took a few bites, but still wasn't satisfied. Honey, let me take a bite of yours. No, you'll drool on it. Qin Shu refused without hesitation. You don't like it? Then why didn't someone dislike it when they kissed? Pretentious. Bitches are pretentious. Huamin pouted. Because when we kissed, I drooled in your mouth. Of course I don't dislike it. Mr. Qin, is it really okay for you to bully your wife so blatantly? Huamin thought that she was already black-bellied, but Qin Shu was even more black-bellied than she was. What was that saying again? There's always a mountain taller than the other. There's always someone better than you. If you don't want to eat it, then forget it. I'll go buy another one. You'll be hungry, Huamin said and turned around to buy another one. She was immediately pulled back by Qin Shu. Here you go. See, I knew you'd give in. Ha. Otherwise, I would have bought an ice cream machine and you'd be screwed. It's my wish for the rest of my life to spend all your money, Huamin joked. Letting you squander all my wealth is my wish for the rest of my life. Qin Shu smiled gently. Then, she picked up a tissue and wiped the ice cream off Huamin's mouth. Her movements were extremely gentle. If this scene were to be uploaded to the internet, it would be the best tool to torture single people. Not far away, a gold-plated Ferrari was parked on the side of the road, so you would never come to such a retarded night market. It was such a mess. When he passed by, there were a lot of people in this area, so he drove a little slowly. Then he inadvertently looked around and saw Huamin in the crowd, for some reason, so you felt that his eyesight was average. At best, it was 1-0, but he could always recognize Huamin from afar. This was really amazing. Initially, when he saw Huamin, he was delighted and even wanted to drive down to tease her. However, when he saw Qin Shu next to Huamin, he felt terrible. Huamin didn't know what to say. Her lips were curved into a smile. It was obvious that she was going to fall apart soon. Qin Shu helped Huamin wipe the ice cream off the corner of her mouth as he continued to feed her ice cream. If he didn't see it with his own eyes, he wouldn't have believed that Huamin, that sharp-tongued, super rational, and extremely calm weirdo, could have such a girly side to her. Her expression was like that of a young girl experiencing her first awakening of love and being together with her first love. Jealousy welled up in Su Yu's heart. He was so jealous of her. He even fantasized that if Huamin could get along with him like this, she would be so happy that she could die, right? As he watched Huamin and Qin Chu both leave, Suyu slammed the steering wheel in frustration. All of a sudden, his mood was gone. Inside a private room in a high-end club, Suyu drank a lot and was already slightly drunk. Lord Su, if there's anything you're unhappy about, hurry up and tell us. Make us happy. In front of Suyu, only Wei Liao dared to be so impudent. Suyu didn't say anything, but his half-closed eyes slowly opened. Chapter 359. It was rare for Suyu to be in such a bad mood. Ever since he was young, there was nothing he couldn't get if he wanted something. The Su family doted on this sole heir of 5 generations and couldn't bear to be bullied at all. However, Suyu wasn't as domineering as Zhou Guangming, who bullied others with his power. Most of the time, he was flirting with girls to earn money and drinking with his buddies. He thought he could live like this for the rest of his life, until Huamin appeared and completely broke the peace. Huamin wasn't stunning, her body wasn't hot, and her personality wasn't gentle, but she still managed to move Suyu's heart. He thought that no matter how hard it was to get Huamin, he would definitely get her quickly. He didn't expect that this road would be so far away. Now that he was out of the nursing home, it was even more difficult to see Huamin. He wasn't the type to pester people. He wouldn't go to the nursing home to look for her for no reason, and he definitely wouldn't call her for no reason. Huamin's attitude was clear. She didn't add him on WeChat and wasn't willing to answer his calls. Even when they met, she wasn't very friendly. She had always been distant towards him. At first, he thought this girl was playing hard to get. Later on, he felt that Huamin's personality was naturally cold. Later on, he found out that Huamin had someone in her heart, and that was her mysterious boyfriend. When he found out that her boyfriend was Qin Chu, he was also shocked. However, he didn't back down. He even met Qin Chu at a restaurant and challenged him. However, today, when he saw how happy Huamin was with Qin Chu with his own eyes, he felt a strong sense of defeat. That warm smile was something Huamin had never shown him. It seemed like she really didn't like him and didn't want to talk to him. Most importantly, he had investigated Huamin so many times before, but to no avail. Now he found out everything. Suyu's subordinates responded hesitantly and told him what they had found out. After listening to them, Suyu's mood completely turned to the South Pole. The people I sent out today found out that Huamin and Qin Chu are husband and wife. After saying this, Suyu picked up his wine glass and took a big gulp. It was obvious how heavy his mood was. When Wei Liao heard this, his expression changed slightly. He didn't expect things to turn out like this. She had just found out that Qin Chu was the man behind Huamin, and now she heard that they were husband and wife. It was too shocking. When did you get married? Why don't the people outside know anything about this? Wei Liao remembered that GK's Qin Chu had just returned to China not long ago. When he took over GK, the media kept a low profile for a few days, but he didn't hear anything about him getting married. Qin Chu is the only son. If he really gets married, won't the Qin family hold a big banquet? What on earth is going on? They didn't hold a banquet, but they already got their marriage certificate about 3 months ago. Suyu's eyes were bloodshot. If that's the case, I think you should give up. After all, they're already husband and wife. If you get involved, you'll be the third party. That's a moral issue. Wei Liao used to think that if Huamin only had a boyfriend, Suyu could continue to pursue her. After all, there were hundreds of suitors. As long as they weren't married, everything was unknown. However, now that they already got their marriage certificate, there was no point for Suyu to pursue her anymore. After all, Lord Su's status was high, and he couldn't do anything that would cause him to lose fans. Seeing that Suyu didn't say anything, Wei Liao continued to persuade him. Lord Su, take it easy. There's so many women in the world. You don't have to fight with Qin Chu, right? Bang! Suyu slammed his wine glass on the coffee table and said, word for word, I've never fallen for anyone in my life. This is the only time I'm not giving up. Chapter 360. At first, Wei Liao thought that Suyu was just interested in something new. However, he didn't expect him to be so serious. He had been his buddy for so long and had so many women by his side, but he had never seen him be so serious about any of them. The only time he was serious was with a married woman. Wei Liao felt a headache coming on. That's not a good idea, right? Wei Liao thought that Su Yu was being immoral. What's not a good idea? It's not like you can't get a divorce after you're married. It's not like you can't get a divorce. Haven't you seen all the superstars in the entertainment industry? They've been married for more than 10 years, and their kids are already 15 years old. Last year, they still got a divorce and married a young, delicate woman born in the 90s. Society is changing, and so are the times. Slowly, the impossible will become possible. Lord Su, I support you. Ha, who the hell is Qin Shu? If we don't accept it, then we'll fight him. If we can't, then we'll all help you. It's just GK, right? Let's see how long he can last. Tang Xuan was impatient and hot-headed, so he blindly supported Su Yu regardless of the consequences. Wei Liao felt that he had to worry about these two hot-tempered buddies in Imperial Park. Huamin and Qin Shu spent the entire night out. When they got home, it was too late and the bus was already gone. In the end, they had no choice but to take a cab home. Inside the bedroom, Huamin came out of the bathroom with a towel wrapped around his waist. Qin Shu put down the book in his hand and asked arrogantly, "Didn't you say you'd take off all your clothes?" I just looked at the weather forecast. It's a bit cold tonight. Huh, I don't want to catch a cold, so I'll wear a towel. It's okay, I'll keep you warm. I don't think so, huh? So is this how you behave? Going back on your words? Qin Shu stared at Huamin and asked unhappily. Huamin was speechless. Why did her husband have such a good memory and was so unforgiving? All right, don't look at me like that. Those who don't know might think that I've done something wrong to you. Let's take it all off then. Who's afraid of who? When the time comes, there won't be anyone who can't hold on. Let's see who will suffer. Huamin was in high spirits. He took off his towel and crawled into bed before Qin Shu could see him clearly. That speed was extremely fast. Your reaction is really fast. I didn't even see it clearly, Qin Shu said, amused. What are you looking at? Turn off the lights and go to sleep. The night is long. Wife, will you be able to sleep? Qin Shu propped his head up and looked at Huamin. Qin Shu, what are you trying to do? What do you think? Qin Shu asked. You didn't even think about it. I just want to torture you. You can touch and see, but you can't sleep. Qin Shu was speechless. Fine, if he wasn't allowed to sleep, he would endure it. However, he could still touch and enjoy himself. Qin Shu suddenly crawled into bed and started groping Huamin. Qin Shu, what are you doing? Stop. Huamin immediately lost his cool and screamed. That night, nothing substantial happened. However, Huamin was groped by Qin Shu to his heart's content. Mr. Qin's heart finally calmed down. He felt like Huamin was slowly starting to accept him and open up to him. Therefore, it was only a matter of time before he took them both down. The next morning, when Huamin arrived at the recuperation center, Wang Tingting suddenly walked up to him. She was wearing her own clothes instead of her work uniform. It's almost time. Why don't you change into your work uniform? Huamin reminded her. Huamin, this is my resignation letter. Here, you're resigning? Huamin asked as he took the white letter. Chapter 361. Yeah, I quit. Hurry up and approve it. You won't have to worry about me anymore if you don't want to see me anymore. I would never use my position for personal revenge. Are you sure you don't want to work here anymore? I'm sure, Wang Tingting said firmly. Her tone was firm. Huamin remembered that someone once told him that Tingting was a very materialistic girl. She always wanted to be promoted in the hospital. In order to get promoted, she even slept with Deputy Director Gua. However, in the end, she only became an official employee. After Song Lin was promoted and Huamin became the head nurse, she was very unhappy and always went against Huamin. After Huamin taught her a few lessons, she became much more obedient. Huamin was quite surprised that she suddenly resigned, but he didn't say anything. Since you've made up your mind, I'll approve it, Huamin said as he took out a ballpoint pen from the pocket of his white lab coat and signed his name. Wang Tingting took the resignation letter without hesitation. Okay, I'm going to the HR department to get my salary. After Wang Tingting left, a nurse walked over and whispered, "Head nurse, do you know why Wang Tingting resigned?" "I don't know. She's a tycoon." "Huh?" Huamin didn't know what to say. "You might not know, but recently, when she was taking care of patient number 5, she hooked up with the patient. She often went to room 5 during the night shift and came out with her clothes disheveled. Everyone knows what's going on. Isn't the patient in room 5 a 50-year-old uncle?" Huamin remembered that the uncle in room 5 was a Thai Chinese. He looked like a typical Southeast Asian. He was tanned and skinny, and he spoke broken Mandarin. Apparently, he had manners in Thailand and Malaysia and did import and export business. "Yeah, but it's good to have money. It doesn't matter how old you are." A nurse who's close to Wang Tingting said that the Thai guy bought her a house in a local neighborhood and changed her car to an Audi TT sports car. It looks like he's going to keep her in his house. What if the man doesn't want her in the future? Didn't she think of a way out? Huamin sighed. These girls really don't care about anything else for a moment of enjoyment. He didn't even think of a way out for himself. Logically speaking, Wang Tingting's salary wasn't low, including bonuses and full attendance. She should be earning about 6,000 to 7,000 yuan a month. Moreover, there was still the housing fund and pension insurance. If he gave up on all these, it would be a pity if he couldn't make it in the future. Why would she think so much? She's enjoying herself day by day. Even if we break up in the future, she still has a car and a house, right? All right, maybe different people think differently. Huamin didn't say anything in the end. As for Wang Tingting, she wouldn't persuade her. Everyone had the right to make their own choices. In the afternoon, while Huamin was writing some documents in his office, Zhu Lingling sent him a WeChat message. "What happened that day? What time did you guys eat until? If you leave, we'll be gone. Who would still be in the mood to eat?" Huamin replied, "Is that girl really Gao Ran's girlfriend? She doesn't look that good. I think she looks pretty good. She's petite," Huamin said deliberately. "TSK, really? I don't think so. You always have a bad eye for people. It's not worth learning from." Why do I smell something sour? Is someone jealous? Jealous? Me? How is that possible? Someone like Gao Ran, I wouldn't want him even if he gave me a chance." Zhu Lingling was stubborn. "So you're not sending me a WeChat message to get information out of me? Huamin, can't we just have fun?" Zhu Lingling said helplessly after being exposed. "To be honest, I also think that girl isn't suitable for Gao Ran. But what we say doesn't count. It's up to Gao Ran himself." Huamin analyzed calmly. That guy Deng Kai came back to ask for peace. He's so shameless. You agree? Huamin was a little worried. Chapter 362. How is that possible? If I fool around with him again, you'll cut ties with me. It's good that you know. I understand that he came to me to make peace because the Zhou family was defeated. He also knows that we have powerful connections. The news of Dennis Wu's appearance has spread throughout the upper-class circle. Even my scumbag ex came to ask me if I knew Dennis Wu. Look at this. What kind of world is this? That's normal. Most people only measure success by 2 standards. Which 2? Zhu Lingling was confused. The grade you get when you're young and the amount of money you earn when you grow up. That's true. Although it's realistic, it's true. Zhu Lingling agreed. So, you don't have to be so serious. But I have a piece of advice for you. What is it? In the future, when you find a boyfriend, don't measure his financial status. Look at his character first, okay? Okay. Zhu Lingling obviously felt that Huamin's words made sense. In this day and age, character is the most important thing, and money is the second. If you're a good person, you can slowly earn more in the future. If you're a bad person, you're born with it. A leopard can't change its spots. I've never believed that people with bad natures can change for the better. This is an eternal truth. Okay. Miss Hua, you're always right, okay? Hey, stop. I'm not Miss Hua. Miss Hua is Hui Yanyan, not me. Speaking of Hui Yanyan, I remember. Last time I went out with Deng Kai, wasn't she there too? She seems to have taken a liking to Suyu. She kept trying to suck up to him, but Suyu didn't seem to care about her. She's taken a liking to Suyu? Then she must be blind. Huamin chuckled. How could those women tolerate Suyu's temper? Just because Suyu had a devilish face, they could overlook his fiery temper, annoying mouth, and arrogant personality. Suyu is pretty good. I think he's pretty good. Although he's a bit of a playboy, he has the capital. If we were born into that family, we might have a harem of 3,000 women. Plus, I heard that Suyu is super generous to women. Everyone has their own way of judging things. Huomin smiled and stopped arguing with Zhu Lingling about Suyu. Let's have a meal together when I'm off this week. We can go shopping together. I haven't gone shopping in a long time. I'm in a bad mood. Sure. Remember not to call your Qin Chu. When he comes, call Gao Ran. Okay, I know, sis. Hui anyways. Imperial Star Headquarters - President Su, we just received news from the set that Miss Zhao Qingya got injured in an accident while she was hanging on a wire. Oh, is it serious? Suyu seemed calm. It's nothing serious, but she's in shock. She's at the first hospital right now. Tell Lisa to go take a look at her. Also, tell the finance department to transfer some money to her personal account. President Su, you're not going to go take a look? Chapter 363. President Su didn't come. He's very busy and has a lot of high-level meetings. He asked me to come and see you on his behalf. Then, Lisa placed the flowers in a vase. Truth be told, when Zhao Qingyao first entered the industry, Lisa liked her. She thought that she was pretty and hard-working, so she didn't want to train her. However, later on, Zhao Qingyao became arrogant because she was spoiled. She bullied newbies and teamed up with her manager to create hype with Suyu. Lisa couldn't stand it. However, because she was favored at that time, Suyu tacitly agreed to her hype. Now that President Su lost interest and Mian Mian took over, Zhao Qingyao began to use all sorts of methods to frame Mian Mian. Lisa was speechless at the combination of a green tea bitch, a white lotus, and a scheming bitch. She really couldn't like her anymore. Zhao Qingyao no longer had the innocence of a young girl when she first entered the industry. All that was left was her outer appearance. Zhao Qingyao was slightly disappointed when she heard that Suyu didn't come. Actually, the pressure wasn't a problem. She just fell on purpose when she landed. Her goal was to let Suyu hear that she was injured and come to see her. Unfortunately, her hopes were dashed. President Su said that you should rest well. All right, the finance department just transferred money to your personal account. Did you receive it? It was President Su's idea to let you rest for a few days. Treat it as a vacation and don't feel burdened. Upon hearing Lisa's words, Zhao Qingyao immediately took out her phone and checked her bank account. Sure enough, a seven-figure sum of money was transferred to her account a few minutes ago. Suyu had always been generous, so she wasn't surprised people were greedy. When Zhao Qingyao first got together with Suyu, she only wanted fame and money. Back then, Suyu supported her greatly. She acted in several big movies in a year and became an award-winning celebrity. She was rich and famous. Other than the money she earned from a movie, Suyu also bought her several houses and cars. She had countless jewelry, watches, and bags. However, that wasn't what she wanted anymore. She wanted to marry Suyu and marry into the Su family. Then, she would be able to successfully retire and help her husband and raise her children. Unfortunately, how could it be so easy to enter the Su family? Sister Lisa, we've known each other for so long, you don't have to hide things from me. Is President Su with Mian Mian? Qingya, there's something. Just tell me yes or no, Zhao Qingya demanded. No, it's really not that. President Su does take extra care of Mian Mian, but as far as I know, there's really nothing going on between the two of them. President Su seems to be very busy recently and doesn't spend much time at the company, so the two of them don't have much chance to meet. Ha! I don't believe you. Zhao Qingya sneered. It must be that bitch Mian Mian. She used all her tricks to seduce President Su while I was away filming. See, you don't believe me even if I tell you the truth. Little Ye, listen to me. Don't be so serious. Otherwise, life will be tiring. After comforting Zhao Qingya, Lisa left the ward. There were still a lot of fans outside the first hospital, waiting for Zhao Qingya to be discharged. In the afternoon, At the press conference for Imperial Star's new movie, Shooting Star and Butterfly Sword, the media asked Mian about her relationship with President Suyu. Mian smiled, but didn't say anything. Her attitude was even more confusing. In the ward, Zhao Qingya was watching the live broadcast on TV. She was so angry that she threw an ashtray at the LCD TV, shattering it. Lilia, calm down. Why do you have to do this? I just can't accept it. That woman's face is nothing special. Why does she deserve to be in his position? Zhao Qingya's face was livid as she crushed the cigarette in her hand. Lilia, you've been in the industry for so long, but you still can't accept it. Who is President Su? Even if Mian wasn't there could be other newbies. Didn't you start out as a newbie when you first entered the industry? Back then, President Su was dating Annie Leong. Didn't you steal her away? I still can't accept it. Anyways, I just can't stand this Mian. I'm going to deal with her. Beside a private pool, Suya just finished a lap when he walked out of the pool, drenched in water. He picked up a towel and wiped himself. You've been close to that newbie in your company lately? Did your taste change again? Wei Liao asked as he pointed at the news on his phone. Chapter 364. Before Suyu could say anything, Tang Chuan cut in. You can't even tell. How can you do it? It's obvious that Mian is cannon fodder. She's the cannon fodder that President Su brought out onto the stage to be attacked by others. He's doing this to protect the person who really wants to protect you. You've suddenly become a big shot, Lord Su, Wei Liao laughed. Do you think I won't tell the funeral parlor to remove 2 bodies from my swimming pool? Suyu threatened coldly. Wei Liao and Tang Chuan immediately shut up. Inside a high-end bar, as usual, a group of people were drinking when Mian walked in, wearing a pink miniskirt and a red top hat. She sat down beside Suyu and poured a glass of wine for Suyu, looking very obedient. Suyu was expressionless. He occasionally fiddled with his phone, absent-minded. President Su, what is it? Suyu didn't even look up. Sister Qingya seems to have some misunderstandings about me. She's been working with the other artists in the company to ostracize me. I feel very wronged. President Su, please help me. If you feel wronged, then don't do it anymore. Just leave the company. You're not suitable to be an artist with such a fragile heart. President Su still didn't look at her. Instead, he scrolled through Huomin's Weibo. There was a time when Weibo was very popular. Huomin also registered an account, but he didn't use it often. He would only update or forward it when he thought of it. His name was also a little cute. He was called Penguins of Madagascar. However, even though he disguised himself like this, Suyu still found out. His people weren't useless. If he couldn't add them on WeChat, he could at least add them on Weibo. After all, Suyu was a VIP on Weibo with more than 30 million fans. Plus, he didn't have zombie fans. He had more fans than many celebrities. His verified name was also Suyu. His verified identity was the CEO of Imperial Star Entertainment and a board member of the Su Bank. However, Suyu was a lazy person. He rarely went on Weibo and didn't let his team manage it. He felt like that would lose the real meaning of having a Weibo. The last time he posted on Weibo was last month. It was about the new movie that Suyu and the God of Gamblers from Hong Kong. Suyu automatically reposted it. There were 80,000 comments on it in one day. Most of the people in the front row were female fans. One of them shouted, "Hubby, you finally updated your Weibo. Hua, we'll support your movie, even if it's bad. Hubby, remember to post more selfies. Give us some benefits. Hua's hubby as hubby. Hua's in Hughes Huayu and Huago Huahan. Who was Su BBB and UTU to S to Su TV. Even if he changed his date, he would still be in entertainment headlines for a week. After opening Huomin's Weibo, Suyu didn't immediately follow it. He was afraid that some nosy netizens would notice something. Instead, he found her Weibo and scrolled through her posts one by one. Whenever he saw something interesting, he would laugh. When he saw something childish, he would laugh. Anyways, Suyu was having a lot of fun playing with his phone. He was in the mood to listen to Mian complain about her fight with Zhao Qingya. President Su, did I do something wrong? Mian looked pitiful and wanted to cry. Suyu put away his phone and glanced at her. Why do you ask? People are saying that there's something between us, but in reality, there's nothing between us. I'm under a lot of pressure because of the curses and suspicions from those people. So, I'm wondering if I did something wrong to offend you, President Sue. Mian wasn't stupid, and her analysis was quite reliable. What do you think you did to offend me? So you looked at her, amused. Chapter 365. I'm not sure. Please enlighten me, President Sue. Mian bit her lip and said in a low voice. If there's nothing else, you can go home. If you want to do well in the future, don't waste your time on useless things. Focus on acting and memorize the script. Hard work is more important than anything else. Remember, there are no shortcuts to success. President Sue, Mian didn't want to give up, so she moved closer to him. She wanted to get closer to Suyu. Suyu immediately stood up, pointed not far away, and yelled, "Give me the mic, I know how to sing this song." Then, Suyu took the mic and started singing. Mian awkwardly stood to the side. Just then, Tang Chuan, who reeked of alcohol, sat down and put an arm around Mian's shoulder. Your president has been abstinent lately. Don't waste your time on him. Why don't you be with me? I'll definitely love you more than he does. Ha! Young Master Tang sure knows how to joke. Mian awkwardly laughed, then got up and said goodbye to Wei Liao and Tang Chuan. TSK. Lord Su is getting more and more noble. Even though this chick had plastic surgery, her body is not bad. If I sleep with her, I'll be in a good mood. Tang Chuan shook his head and sighed. Lord Su is very arrogant and won't sleep with just anyone. He's very pretentious, so don't add to his troubles. Wei Liao drank as he watched Suyu sing. After Mian left, Suyu played with him for a while, but he wasn't in the mood. The black Lamborghini Sixth Element was Suyu's favorite. It was a limited edition car that was rarely seen on the market. It appeared in the movie Need for Speed, and it was very cool. It also matched Suyu's flamboyant personality very well. They drove the black Lamborghini through the night and stopped at the entrance of Southside Recuperation Center. Ever since Wamin was promoted to head nurse, she didn't have as many night shifts as before. Sometimes she only had one shift every 2 weeks, and each shift lasted for 3 days, so it was relatively easy. Lord Qin was very satisfied with this. Huamin was on the night shift when a delivery man suddenly walked in. Who is Ms. Huamin? Me. Huamin raised his hand. Hello, this is your express delivery. Huamin remembered that he hadn't done any online shopping recently. Why did he suddenly receive a delivery? Looking at how tightly it was covered, could it be a terrorist bomb? Head nurse, why aren't you opening it? I'm afraid it's explosives. Aren't you thinking too much? The nurse on the same shift sweated. Otherwise, the head nurse was an extraordinary woman. Even her way of thinking was so strange. Shouldn't a woman be surprised when she received a package? And then guess who sent her the gift? Why would the head nurse think that a package delivered in the middle of the night was a bomb? It was too weird. Under the encouragement of the nurse, Huamin opened the package and found that it was a midnight snack. What a false alarm. Moreover, it was a weird supper. It was weird because it was not porridge or milk tea. It was actually smoked pork trotters, chicken feet, sausages, and some sesame seed cakes. The taste was not bad, but was it really okay to eat this in the middle of the night? Head nurse, this is so sweet. It must be from your boyfriend, right? The nurse was very envious. Huamin knew that this definitely wasn't Qin Chu's doing. Qin Chu usually delivered the food himself. Could it be? Huamin thought of someone, but he wasn't sure. Huamin's circle of friends was quite small, so there weren't many people who could deliver a midnight snack like this. Chapter 366. Head nurse, I'll keep an eye on it for you. You should eat. It's okay, I'm not hungry. You can eat this. How could I? The nurse was a little shy. It's okay, I'm scared of getting fat. Haha, I don't want to eat so much collagen. Huamin found an excuse. Then I won't hold back, head nurse. The nurse happily took the supper into the office. Huamin was bored out of her mind as she scrolled through her WeChat friend circle. Today was pretty peaceful. Then, she logged into Weibo, which she hadn't been on for a long time, and suddenly saw a private message from someone she didn't follow. Are the pork trotters tasty? The message was sent 3 minutes ago, and the sender was a big shot with a V. It was the president of Imperial Star, Su Yu. Is it really you? Huamin asked. What? Are you surprised? Surprise my ass. Are you trying to kill me? Sending me pork trotters in the middle of the night? You're up to no good. I heard that pork trotters and chicken feet can increase the size of your breasts. Your figure. It's good for you to eat more. Su Yu, come here. I promise I won't beat you to death. Huamin's face darkened. She thought her figure was okay. Okay? Why would her breasts be so big? They weren't cows. After a while, Su Yu didn't reply. Huamin thought he was scared. Just as she was about to close Weibo, he sent her another private message. I miss you. Huamin didn't know how to reply to such a serious message, so she just closed Weibo. Whether or not Su Yu's feelings for her were real or fake, she didn't want to confirm them. She already had Qin Chu, so she didn't want anyone else. Outside Southside Recuperation Center, Su Yu leaned against the driver's seat in his black Lamborghini, silent. After waiting for a long time, he didn't receive a reply from Huamin. He was a little disappointed, but it was understandable. After sitting in the car for a while, Su Yu finally drove away. The Su family's old residence was located in the Gold Coast area, facing the sea, where spring was warm and flowers bloomed. That place was famous for being a wealthy area, and because many military leaders lived there, it was heavily guarded. It was not a place where commoners could enter and leave as they pleased. Su Yu's father and the elders of his family were in charge of a private bank, so they were often out of town on business trips. On the other hand, Su Yu's grandfather was the head of the military region, so he flew all over the world. Under normal circumstances, Lady Su was the only one left in the Su family. It was said that Lady Su was born a commoner and was deeply loved by Su Yu's father. The Su family also respected her very much. Seeing her son come back in the middle of the night, Lady Su was planning to sleep, but she immediately put on her coat and asked the kitchen to prepare a bowl of ginseng soup. Mom, I don't like to drink these things. They taste like Chinese medicine. These are good for your health, Lady Su advised earnestly. Under Lady Su's gaze, Su Yu had no choice but to drink the soup made by his mother. Son, why did you come back so late? Why didn't you call ahead of time to arrange something for you to eat? Oh, it's nothing. I just ate, so I'm not hungry. I just suddenly missed you, so I came back to see you. You. Lady Su's face was full of love. Mom, you've been there before. I actually have something I want to ask you. What is it? Let me hear it. Lady Su was wearing milky, white home clothes. She looked very sweet. Although she was almost 50 years old, she still looked very young and elegant. Tell me, if I fall in love with someone I shouldn't, will you support me? Chapter 367. I support you. I definitely support you. Even if you like men, as long as you leave me a grandchild, I don't care who you like. Su Yu was immediately speechless. You're really my mother. You're definitely not a free gift. What? Do you like a girl recently? There's one. What does she do? How old is she? What does she look like? Do you have a picture? Lady Su was immediately interested. Mom, I can't tell you right now, but if I have the chance, I'll tell you, haha. Why are you being so secretive? All right, but you're not young anymore. Don't mess around anymore. As for those female artistes in the company, if you can, then do so. Your grandfather said that people from the entertainment industry will never be able to enter the Su family. I know. Su Yu nodded. Are you sleeping at home tonight? I'll get someone to clean up your room. It's okay, Mom. I'm going back to my place. After sitting with his mother for a little while, Su Yu left in the middle of the night. The good thing was that the Su family was already used to this little ancestor's personality. The next morning, on his way to work, Huamin received a WeChat message from Gao Ran. Is Huamin here? Yes. What's up with Zhu Lingling? What happened to her? She blocked me on WeChat. Gao Ran sent a crying emoji. Why? Huamin was confused. I want to know too. Is she having a stroke? Why did she block me? Are you sure she blocked you and not deleted you? What's the difference? Gao Ran sent a crying emoji. There's a difference. She blocked you because she doesn't want to hear from you. You must have done something to make her mad. She deleted you because she doesn't want to talk to you anymore. Goddesswa, your analysis is spot on. So, can you tell me now, did she block you or delete you? Huamin replied with a voice message on his earpiece. Blacklist me? Ha! Hurry up and tell me, what did you do to her? Huamin laughed happily. This was the first time he saw Gao Ran in such a sorry state. Would you believe me if I said I didn't? Absolutely not. I swear to God, Huamin, I really didn't. We were fine before. When we went to the court, we went together. Have you forgotten? Things changed after your girlfriend came, Huamin said. Lin Xuejiao is a bit weird. She followed my car and knew where I was. Then, she pretended to meet me by chance. I don't like this kind of scheming woman. That's your problem. Hey, can you help me plead with her and ask her to pull me back? Why should I help you? Are you my brother? I'm Qin Shu's brother. Yeah, then you can ask Qin Shu to help you. Do you have to be so heartless? Huamin chuckled and didn't reply to him. After a busy morning at the hospital, she called Lingling. She wanted to ask her what happened between her and Gao Ran. However, she found that the girl's phone was turned off. She was probably on a plane. GK headquarters. Qin Shu had just driven out of work when he received a call from Gao Ran, asking him to go for a drink. He booked a place and went straight to the pub. When Qin Shu walked in, Gao Ran had already finished a bottle of beer. What's going on? It's a long story. Here's what happened. If it's a long story, then let's not talk about it. Damn it. You and Huamin are really husband and wife. You're both the same. I wanted to complain to her, but she just attacked me. Gao Ran stomped his feet in anger. So, not only did you harass me, but you also harassed my wife? Qin Shu looked up and asked faintly. Chapter 368. Cough, cough, cough. Don't scare me. How would I dare harass your wife? Do you think I'm tired of living? Gao Ran was so scared by Qin Shu's overprotective behavior that he almost choked on his food. He would never admit to harassing Huamin. Qin Shu didn't say anything and continued drinking. He knew that Gao Ran couldn't hide things. If anything happened, there was no need to ask. He was sure that he would spit it all out. Sure enough, seeing that Qin Shu didn't take the initiative to ask, he couldn't help but say, I broke up with Lin Xuejiao. Oh, Qin Shu's reaction was very indifferent, as if he had expected it. That woman is really not suitable for me. Do you still think Zhu Lingling is more suitable? Qin Shu suddenly interrupted. Uft, you must be joking. What does this have to do with Zhu Lingling? I decided to break up with Lin Xuejiao after a day and a night of careful consideration. I always felt that living with her was too tiring. Then did you invite me to drink to celebrate your breakup? Qin Shu, how can you be so mean? A full man doesn't know the suffering of a hungry man. You're married and have a wife. So you want to torture us single dogs, right? Do we need to celebrate a breakup? Shouldn't we be comforting each other? There's no need at all. You don't look sad at all. That's true. I don't have any feelings for Lin Xuejiao. Everyone just pulled strings and thought that we were a good match. So the reason why you were drinking today must have something to do with Zhu Lingling, right? That damn woman actually blocked me. Just thinking about it makes me angry. I sent her a message, but it was rejected. I'm drunk. Isn't it normal for her to block you? You're not her boyfriend. Maybe she has a boyfriend, and her boyfriend is jealous. Really? Gao Ran panicked when he heard Qin Shu say this. Why not? Stewardesses are very popular. No one would want Zhu Lingling, that fierce woman, right? That's not necessarily true. Qin Shu slowly took a sip of the wine. Gao Ran was even more depressed after hearing this. Why don't you call your wife and ask her to come over for a meal after work? Gao Ran thought that if Huamin was here, he wouldn't have to worry about Zhu Lingling. After all, Huamin was Zhu Lingling's good friend. My wife is working the night shift these few days. So unlucky? Gao Ran was slightly disappointed. Qin Shu seemed to have already seen through Gao Ran's thoughts, but since he didn't want to admit it, Qin Shu didn't expose him. During dinner, Gao Ran went to the bathroom while Qin Shu sent a WeChat message to Huamin. What are you doing? I'm eating. The food in the cafeteria is horrible. I'm sorry for the 50 yuan a day. I'll have someone bring you lunch in the future. GK chefs are very professional. No, I'm not that delicate. If everyone can eat, then so can I. If it's not good, then don't eat so much and cook for yourself after work. Good girl. Chin Chu sent a head emoji. What about you? Are you off work? I won't be home tonight. Remember to cook for yourself. I'm with Gao Ran. Yeah? You guys are together? Did he complain to you about how Ling Ling blocked him? Humin laughed. Yeah. Haha. Ling Ling's a weirdo. Why did you block him? Even Gao Ran can't stay calm. Can he? Yeah, he's panicking. Then you stay calm. Haha. I'll ask Ling Ling what's going on. Gao Ran broke up with his girlfriend. So soon, Humin was slightly surprised. Although he knew that they wouldn't be together, he didn't expect it to be so soon. After chatting with Qin Shu for a while, Zhu Lingling's phone call came in. Girl, I just got off the plane. I saw that you called me. What's up? Zhu Lingling asked with her phone in hand, looking like a big sister. Chapter 369. Gao Ran said you blocked him on WeChat. Yeah. Is there a problem? Zhu Lingling answered confidently. No problem. The problem is that Gao Ran can't reach you. So he came to ask me what's going on. Why did the two of you quarrel like this? Nothing, I just don't like him. If you don't like him, you should have blocked him earlier. Why did you block him right after his girlfriend barged in? Sis, do you have feelings for the police? Bullshit, I don't have feelings for him. Zhu Lingling immediately denied. Fine, you can continue to be stubborn. Anyways, it's between us. It's not something that can be explained in a few words. Do you have a day off tomorrow? I do. I'm working the night shift today, so I have a whole day off tomorrow. Great, let's go out and eat. I'm in a bad mood recently, so I want to talk to you. No problem, but you can't be too early. I need to catch up on sleep when I get back. Let's do it at noon. Call me after you book a restaurant. Why am I the one who booked the restaurant? Aren't you the one paying? Zhu Lingling asked on purpose. Yeah, I'm the one paying, but you can choose the restaurant. You're really rich. You're so rich, I want to ride your coattails. Zhu Lingling giggled. No, Gao Ran's coattails are thicker. You can ride his coattails. I heard that he broke up with his girlfriend, so he's free now. Broke up? How's that possible? Zhu Lingling obviously didn't believe her. I heard it from Qin Chu. Mr. Qin's words never lie. I guarantee his integrity. But why did they break up? Zhu Lingling was curious. You can ask Gao Ran that yourself, haha. I don't want to talk to him. It's settled. I'll talk to you tomorrow. With that, Zhu Lingling hung up. After dinner, there was still half an hour before work. Humin went back to his office and tidied up his desk. Then, he planned to do a ward round to check on the situation of each ward. At this moment, his phone rang. It was a video call invitation. Hello, Mr. Qin. After the call connected, Humin smiled. This Humin was still wearing a white coat and a pair of black-rimmed glasses. There was no makeup on his face, and he looked delicate and pretty. On the other end, Qin Shu was still in his office. He was wearing a navy blue morning shirt, and his face was stunning. Are you busy? No, I just had dinner. I'm going to do a ward round. What did you eat for dinner? Let me think. I think it's braised pork ribs, kelp potato chips, and tomato egg drop soup. It must not taste good, right? Yeah, the taste has always been the same. It hasn't improved at all. What about you? Have you eaten? I'm not off work yet. I noticed that when I'm on a night shift, you're always working overtime, Humin asked with a smile. Otherwise, why would I go back so early? You're not home. I'll try to go back early tomorrow morning and make you a delicious breakfast. No, you're already tired from work. I'll make breakfast. What do you want to eat? Fried eggs and sandwiches. Is that okay? I just saw a kid eating in the hallway. I'm craving it. You're so useless. Qin Chu smiled dotingly. You know that I don't have any principles when it comes to food. Okay, fried eggs and sandwiches it is. See you tomorrow morning. Okay, bye. After hanging up, Humin went to check on the patients. To his surprise, he saw Wang Tingting, who had just resigned, in room 5. This time, she was there as a family member. She was wearing a low-necked, big-breasted dress and had on flirtatious makeup. She leaned against the Thai patient in room 5 intimately. Hi, my dear head nurse. Wang Tingting smiled proudly when she saw Humin walk in. Chapter 370. Huomin nodded in response to Wang Tingting. How are you feeling today? Do you feel uncomfortable anywhere? Huomin asked the Thai guy as a matter of routine. I'm okay, but sometimes my chest feels stuffy. Do you guys have any ways to relieve it? It's probably because of the lack of air circulation in the room. I suggest your friend take you to the garden for a walk. It'll help with your recovery. Okay, thank you, head nurse. The Thai guy was actually quite polite, aside from his perverted nature. Huomin looked at Ting Ting and reminded her, he has a history of diabetes, so try to control his diet. Don't let him eat too much sweet fruit. I know, you don't have to tell me. I'm his girlfriend, so of course I know him. That's for the best. Huomin smiled and turned to leave. I really hate how arrogant she is, always pretending to be rational. Wang Tingting cursed as she looked at Huomin's back. Babe, are you talking about the head nurse? I think she's a good person, very professional. What do you know? She's a horrible person, and we all hate her, Wang Tingting said angrily. Speaking of Southside Recuperation Center, not many people liked Huomin, and there was only one reason. Huomin once proposed to reorganize Southside during a meeting. He proposed to change the sexy uniforms to white coats. He also added an assessment system for the nurses and doctors to improve their professional skills. However, this made the people with ulterior motives very sad, so they all secretly hated Huomin. However, Huomin wasn't worried. She just thought that doctors should act like hospitals. Fortunately, Director Wu was wise enough to approve her suggestion and reorganize Southside, although the bad atmosphere was still there. Although there were still some bad habits, overall, the hospital was much better and its reputation improved. Huomin worked the whole night. When she got home, it was already 7:30 a.m. Qin had already gotten up and made breakfast. You're back. Wash your hands first. I'm going to fry the eggs. Qin didn't fry the eggs because he didn't know how long Huomin would take to get home. He was afraid that the eggs would be cold and affect the taste. Seeing Qin busy in the kitchen, Huomin felt slightly touched. In a lifetime, how many women could meet a man who could cook for them? The premise was that this man was very busy and was in charge of a company worth tens of billions. Therefore, people who often say that they are too busy are actually indirectly telling you that you are not the most important person to them. Your matters are not important in his eyes, at least not now. After a while, Qin finished frying the eggs. He walked out and carefully placed a plate in front of Huomin. Try it and see how it tastes. Have you aged? No, it looks very, very delicious. Thank you, King of Support. Qin chuckled. He could only relax and smile like this when he was with Huomin. Usually, in the company or outside, people would see a cold and arrogant president. Qin didn't talk much, but he always got to the point. After every executive meeting, he would always conclude with a few sentences. Huomin ate the fried eggs in small bites, her heart filled with happiness. Qin poured her a glass of warm milk and handed it to her. Sleep well later. There's a steam I'm masked by your bed. Okay. Huomin nodded dumbly as she ate. After the two happily ate breakfast, Qin packed up and was about to leave. Drive slowly and be careful, Mr. Qin. Huomin waved his hand. Qin walked a few steps and suddenly thought of something. He turned around and asked, Mian, do you know Suyu? Upon hearing this, Huomin's expression changed slightly. Chapter 371. Yeah, he used to recuperate at Southside before I was promoted to head nurse. I would go over every day to draw his blood and give him injections. Why? Huomin didn't hide anything from Qin and directly told him about the situation. Nothing, I was just asking. Qin nodded and turned to go to work. Huomin took a hot shower, put on a mask, and slept soundly. At 11:20 a.m., Zhu Lingling called. Stop sleeping, get up. Let's go to Sakura Japanese restaurant on Evergreen Street. Okay, I'll be there in a minute. Huomin drowsily got up, washed up, and drove straight over. She took less than 20 minutes to get there. Zhu Lingling had already ordered a table full of food and was waiting for her. After the two of them ate and drank, Zhu Lingling suggested that they go shopping. Huomin gladly agreed. However, to their surprise, They bumped into Lin Xuejiao at the mall. When she saw Huamin, she immediately went up to greet her passionately. "Hello. What a coincidence you're shopping too," responded Huamin with a smile. "Yeah, did Gao Ran tell you guys about us?" asked Lin Xuejiao directly. Huamin and Zhu Lingling looked at each other. Then Huamin nodded. "Oh, I heard a little bit. Do you know why we broke up?" Lin Xuejiao looked like she was asking Huamin, but her eyes were actually looking at Zhu Lingling the entire time. "I don't know. Gao Ran didn't tell me, and it's not convenient for me to ask. Gao Ran's family is a high-ranking family, so they have high expectations for their future daughter-in-law. I thought I was great, but I still couldn't marry into their family. Gao Ran's mother already made it clear that they won't accept a non-virgin into their family. I had a boyfriend before, so never mind, let's not talk about this. Anyways, I wish Gao Ran the best. You guys go shopping, talk when you have time." After Lin Xuejiao finished speaking, she turned around and left. Huamin and Zhu Lingling were left behind with a confused look on their faces. When Zhu Lingling heard Lin Xuejiao's words, she said sourly, "What day and age are we in? Gao Ran's mother sure is interesting. If she wants to find a daughter-in-law like that, I suggest she go to kindergarten. This Lin Xuejiao is quite strange. Why did she tell us all this?" Huamin thought Lin Xuejiao was a bit strange. She didn't think that she and Lin Xuejiao were close enough to talk about such private matters, but she did. She also didn't think that Lin Xuejiao was a brainless person who would talk nonsense. Maybe she had a motive for saying all this? Huamin lowered her head and thought about it. "Don't just stand there, let's go." After pulling Huamin away, Zhu Lingling and Lin Xuejiao shopped for the entire afternoon. After they had afternoon tea, Zhu Lingling finally let Huamin go home. After Huamin got home, he received another WeChat message from Gao Ran. "Huamin, did you ask Zhu Lingling? What's going on? Even if a criminal is sentenced to death, there has to be a reason. It's so unclear, it's so weird." Huamin thought for a moment and asked, "Why did you break up with Lin Xuejiao? Didn't I tell you? Their personalities don't match. Is there a reason behind it? For example, your mom doesn't agree to it?" Huamin asked carefully. "Sis, are you kidding me? My mom wants me to get married tomorrow and have kids the day after tomorrow. She doesn't care about me." "Oh, I get it now. What do you get?" Gao Ran was confused. "It's nothing. I'll ask Lingling about it later." "Don't worry." "How can I not worry? I don't even know what's going on." Gao Ran seemed very anxious. However, Huamin didn't reply to him. After hanging up the phone, Huamin was almost certain that Lin Xuejiao was a scheming bitch. She seemed to have seen through the subtle relationship between Zhu Lingling and Gao Ran and wanted to destroy it. She thought about it and decided to help Gao Ran. She sent a WeChat message to Lingling. Lingling pulled Gao Ran back. "Stop sulking." Chapter 372. "Mian, don't worry about us. It's not as simple as you think." "Huh? Is there a secret between the two of you that I don't know about?" Huamin pretended to be surprised. "Ahem, of course not. Don't overthink it." "Okay, I've already passed on the message. It's up to you whether you want to pull him back or not. But don't mind what Lin Xuejiao said. That woman isn't that simple. She might have said it on purpose for you to hear." Huamin was finally relieved after Huamin's explanation. She tidied up and drove to her third night shift of the week. Because it was rush hour, the traffic was heavy. Huamin stopped listening to music in the car. Just as she was engrossed in the music, she vaguely felt that someone was looking at her. As expected, a black Lamborghini was parked next to her at a red light. Who else could it be but Suyu in the driver's seat? Suyu didn't intentionally create this chance encounter. He was going to eat with a few clients, and the restaurant wasn't far away. She didn't expect to run into Huamin at a red light. It was truly a pleasant surprise. Suyu's gaze never left Huamin. Suyu didn't come back to his senses until the lights changed and the cars behind him honked like crazy. Just then, he looked to the side and saw that Huamin had already driven away. When Huamin arrived at South Side, it was already past dinner time. Just as she was wondering if she should order takeout, suddenly, a nurse walked over and said in a hurry, "Deputy Director Gua asked you not to go to his office, head nurse." "Okay." Huamin nodded. Then, She changed into her white lab coat and put on her glasses to go to the deputy director's office on the top floor. She didn't expect to see Hua Xiqian when she knocked on the door and walked in. He was wearing a khaki t-shirt and a Cartier bracelet on his left hand. He seemed to be talking to the deputy director about something. "Look, who's here?" Hua Xiqian looked at Huamin with a smile. Huamin ignored him and asked Deputy Dean Gua directly, "Why are you looking for me?" "Hua, come and have a seat." "Vice President, I haven't eaten yet. If you have something to say it first." Huamin didn't seem to want to waste time. "Don't worry, we haven't eaten yet either. We'll go eat directly later. Take a seat and listen to President Hua's reward system for our hospital." "Since when has the reward system of our hospital been decided by an outsider?" Huamin asked calmly. "What are you talking about? President Hua is not an outsider. He is our hospital's biggest sponsor." Huamin, "Fine, this deputy director only cared about money, so she had nothing to say." "Mian, I've set up an emergency fund in your hospital. In the future, if there are any family members who are in trouble and are sent to your hospital for emergency treatment, the Hua Foundation will pay for the emergency treatment." "Are you going to be a prostitute?" Huamin looked at Hua Xiqian and asked. No, that's too tiring. I just think that you can be a director of the Hua Foundation and help out with this. Also, I talked to the deputy director and your salary will be doubled. After all, you have to work and manage the Hua Foundation." Huamin wanted to refuse, but he remembered that Hua Xiqian was doing this for a reason. Many residents nearby didn't know that they were a nursing home and thought that they were a hospital. Therefore, patients were often sent here for emergency treatment. In the end, they were rejected by the hospital. If Hua Xiqian was willing to pay, they could hire professional doctors to be on standby in the emergency room. Perhaps they could save many lives. Huamin couldn't refuse under these circumstances, even though he didn't know why Hua Xiqian was doing this. However, this was a good thing. "Well, what do you think?" Deputy Director Gui asked. Chapter 373. "Sure." Huamin nodded. "See, I told you Mian would agree. Can I go now?" "Vice Director, what are you busy with, Mian?" "I haven't eaten yet. I heard the food in your cafeteria is pretty good. Can you take me there?" Huamin was just about to refuse. Vice Director Gua said, "Of course, you've done so much charity work. Huamian won't say no to this request." His words made Huamin swallow back his words. Huamin had no choice but to take Hua Xiqian to the cafeteria. It was already past lunchtime, so the vice director personally ordered the chef to make a few extra dishes for Hua Xiqian. In the huge cafeteria, Huamin and Hua Xiqian sat across from each other. "I'm curious. Why are you doing this?" "I'm doing a good deed." Hua Xiqian chuckled. "I don't believe you. A cunning entrepreneur wouldn't do something that doesn't benefit him for no reason. Don't try to fool me." "Tis TSK. You're so smart. I like it when you're always rational. Don't bullshit me. Hurry up and tell me." "Mian, I'm hungry. Can we talk while we eat?" Hua Xiqian begged. Just then, the waiters brought out the dishes one after another. There were 6 dishes: 4 stir-fry, sweet and sour pork ribs, braised carp, bitter melon fried eggs, salted prawns, braised meatballs, and a bowl of pickled vegetable soup. Before Hua Xiqian could say anything, Hua Xiqian picked up a prawn and put it in Huamin's bowl. "I remember you like seafood, right?" Hua Xiqian put down his chopsticks and smiled at Huamin. "How did you know?" Huamin remembered that she had never eaten with Hua Xiqian. So how did he know what she liked to eat? I was just guessing. "I don't." Hua Xiqian's words were never trusted by Huamin because he was always like that. She was smiling on the surface, but who knew what evil tricks she was scheming in her stomach? "Do you usually eat these dishes?" "Usually, there's only 1 meat dish, 1 vegetable dish, and 1 soup. It's never been as sumptuous as today. It must have been hard on you. What's so bitter about it? Don't we all eat this?" Huamin disagreed. This was the first time Hua Xiqian had the opportunity to eat with Huamin, and he seemed to cherish it very much. After Huamin finished eating the prawn, he immediately used his chopsticks to pick up another one for her. Moreover, he used a new pair of chopsticks to pick it up. It could be seen that he was very meticulous. Did Dad look for you? Is it because of Suyu? Yeah, his idea is unrealistic. There's no way I'll be with Suyu, so I don't need any help from the whole family. Suyu seems to be more than just interested in you. You have to be careful. Be careful of what? He won't hurt me. That's hard to say, so you can be very domineering sometimes. He'll use all kinds of methods to get what he can't get. Do you think everyone is like you? Huamin raised her head and looked at him indifferently. Hua Xiqian smiled bitterly. What's wrong with me? Little sister Mian, you're biased against me. Don't think I don't know who you are. It's not the first day I've known you. Huamin ate slowly and methodically. She met Hua Xiqian the year she met Qin Chu. He was in the senior department. Although they didn't interact much, she still knew how Hua Xiqian did things. He was a person who didn't play by the rules, but he could catch people off guard. In short, his methods were quite sinister. This was also the reason why Huamin had been avoiding him all these years. Hua Yinyan and Hua Si had probably been taken advantage of by him. Then tell me, who am I? Hua Xiqian asked with a smile. You know yourself. Hua Xiqian, little sister Mian, let me ask you a question. Between me and Qin Chu, who do you like more? Chapter 374. When Huamin heard this, she really wanted to say, what the hell are you talking about? How can you compare yourself to Qin Chu? However, Huamin was a good kid. She would never swear, especially in a dignified sanatorium like Southside. In the end, she looked up at Hua Xiqian and asked, I'm curious, where did you get the courage to ask such a question? There are some things that aren't necessarily right. I'd rather give it a try. Perhaps there are other answers. No, there won't be any other answers. You can't compare yourself to Qin Chu. In my heart, no one in this world can compare to Qin Chu. Huamin didn't beat around the bush and was very direct. TSK. My silly little sister is so infatuated. It has nothing to do with infatuation. I'm just stating facts. Okay, I hope Qin Chu doesn't disappoint you. I don't want you to be heartbroken when he lets you down one day. My heart will ache. Thank you for your kind words. That day will never come. After having an unpleasant meal with Hua Xiqian, Huamin returned to work. Hua Xiqian also left Southside with her assistant. She was very curious as to what Hua Xiqian's ultimate goal was. Why did he have to come to Southside so often? He was involved in donations and genetic engineering. Did he have too much money to spend? This didn't seem like something Hua Xiqian would do. After working another night shift, Huamin took a day off. However, she didn't rest at home. After all, Qin Chu wasn't home and she was bored, so she went back to the first hospital. She had worked there as soon as she graduated. To be honest, even though she left, she still had feelings for the place. Outside the OB-GYN clinic of the first hospital, oh my God, Mian. Why are you here? The young nurse, Huang Yu, hugged Huamin affectionately. After Huamin left, Huang Yu didn't want to stay in the laboratory either, so she requested a transfer from the head nurse. It just so happened that the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology was short of manpower, so the higher-ups approved it. Ever since Huamin left, he rarely came back. After all, Wu Xiaoxue was in the OB-GYN department, and the two of them didn't get along. Therefore, he didn't want to ask for a snub. Yes, I'm resting today. I came back to visit everyone when I'm free. As he spoke, Huamin handed over a shopping bag containing drinks and fruits for everyone. How sumptuous. Thank you, senior sister. Huamin was chatting with Huang Yu when the head nurse, Su Yin, walked in from outside. She was in a good mood when she saw Huamin. Why are you here? It's my day off today, so I came to visit everyone. Come in and take a seat. Su Yin took Huamin's hand and walked into the consultation room intimately. A few colleagues who had a good relationship with him before also gathered around and chatted. Mian, is the environment at Southside really good? Yeah. To make it easier for the patients to recuperate, they even have a garden in the back. The environment is really good, and the greenery is top-notch. That's great. You must not be that tired, right? It's not easy either. Patients in recuperation usually need more care. Huamin smiled. You're a head nurse now, so you don't have to work night shifts anymore. Does it feel good? Yeah, it does. Huamin looked at his former colleagues and felt inexplicably touched. Su Yin smiled as she held onto Huamin's hand, unwilling to let go. I heard in the meeting this morning that the Hua Foundation was established at Southside. You're now the president of the foundation and have full authority over it. Your salary has also doubled. Yeah, it was just decided yesterday. Huamin didn't want to talk too much about the Hua Foundation. After all, it was related to Hua Xiqian. That's great. You have to treat us to dinner. Of course. When everyone gets off work that day, I'll treat all of you. Just as everyone was happily chatting, Wu Xiaoxue suddenly pushed open the door and walked in. When she saw Huamin, she froze slightly. Everyone saw her come in and didn't say anything. The lively atmosphere from before suddenly disappeared. Chapter 375. Wu Xiaoxue's belly was already obvious. Even though she was wearing loose, Korean-style clothes, one could still see the slightly bulge in her belly. You're back. Wu Xiaoxue asked faintly as she looked at Huamin. She didn't seem to be passionate, but she definitely wasn't mocking him like before. Yeah, Huamin nodded. Head nurse, please observe the pregnant woman in room 3. She's already bleeding, but her cervix hasn't opened yet. She insists on having a natural birth. Once her water breaks, immediately go into the operating room. Okay, Dr. Wu. The head nurse nodded. Wu Xiaoxue glanced at Huamin and slowly said, let's talk. Everyone was shocked to see Wu Xiaoxue talking to Huamin so calmly. Although they all knew that Huamin saved Wu Xiaoxue and her child in a moment of crisis, they didn't know that Wu Xiaoxue's attitude towards Huamin had changed. Okay. Although Huamin didn't know what Wu Xiaoxue wanted to say, he could tell from her lonely eyes that she didn't have any ill intentions towards him. He followed Wu Xiaoxue out of the OB-GYN clinic and into Wu Xiaoxue's private office. Have a seat. Wu Xiaoxue then poured a glass of water from the water dispenser and handed it to Huamin. Thank you. Huamin was a little surprised. It seemed like Wu Xiaoxue was a lot gentler than before. Surprised by my change? Wu Xiaoxue asked with a smile when she saw Huamin's confusion. Yeah, a little surprised. My parents also said that I've changed a lot recently. I think maybe it's because I'm going to be a mother. I'm giving off a motherly glow. After speaking, Wu Xiaoxue smiled and sat down in the office chair across from Huamin. How have you been? She asked. Pretty good. I really envy you. You're always so carefree. Wu Xiaoxue sighed. You must be too. No, I'm different. Huamin, do you know? Now I understand that my marriage with Ning Ziyuan was a mistake. Our relationship is completely different from what I imagined. At first, I foolishly thought that you were the one who made things difficult for Ning Ziyuan because he couldn't forget you. Now that I think about it, how stupid was I? It clearly wasn't your fault. Did something happen between the two of you? Huamin had a vague feeling that something had happened between them after hearing Wu Xiaoxue's words. Wu Xiaoxue smiled bitterly. Huamin, you left it back then. It seems like you were right. Ning Ziyuan isn't what he appears to be. He's a hypocrite. Huamin never wanted to say anything bad about her ex. After all, it was all in the past. Hearing Wu Xiaoxue scold Ning Ziyuan like this, for a moment, she didn't know what to say. Did you know? Huamin, I used to hate how calm and rational you were. I thought you were too pretentious, but now it seems like I was too stupid. You were rational, so you were able to leave in time. I was crazy in love, so I fell in love with him. Ning Ziyuan doesn't love me. He only loves the power of the Wu family and my uncle's status and fame. Maybe he really likes you. Huamin comforted her. Ha! I used to lie to myself, but the truth is that he doesn't. He only loves himself. He only cares about fame and status. He only cares about whether or not he can get promoted. After I was discharged from the hospital, we slept separately. We don't see each other many times a day, so we don't have much to talk about. Huamin was slightly surprised. That's not good. How long have you guys been married? Chapter 376. I didn't want it to be like this, but I can't accept what he's doing, you know? He's still in contact with He-Man, and they're having an affair behind my back. Other than He-Man, There's also a new intern nurse in the ophthalmology department. Their relationship is very ambiguous, and everyone knows about it. I'm the only one who's in the dark. How stupid am I? This can't be true, right? Did you misunderstand something? Huamin tried his best not to think the worst of people. I've already hired a private investigator to investigate. He thinks I don't know, and I don't want to expose him. I'm pregnant right now, and I can't get a divorce. After I give birth, I'll bring the evidence and file for divorce. Then, Ning Zuan will leave me with nothing and get the hell out of here, Wu Xiaoxue said through clenched teeth, her eyes red. It was obvious that she was angry and agitated. Calm down, I know you're angry and sad, but you have a child. If you're in a bad mood, it'll directly affect the baby. Huamin, I have one more thing to ask you. You have to tell me the truth, okay? Wu Xiaoxue wiped her tears with a tissue and raised her head to look at Huamin. Ask away. You were the one who helped Ning Ziyuan write those academic papers about ophthalmology that he won awards for, weren't you? Huamin was silent. Huamin, tell me the truth. I don't want to be fooled by him like an idiot. I wrote them. Huamin finally admitted. Haha, well, my uncle told me. I didn't believe him at first. I always thought that Ning Ziyuan was a medical genius. Although he's not a good person, he's overflowing with talent. Now, it seems like it was all a scam. He doesn't have any skills at all, yet he pretends to be talented. It's disgusting. At that time, we had just graduated, and it was not easy to find a job. Because he was a doctor, he had to have an outstanding side to him to find a job. So, I helped him write a paper. Later, when I heard that the paper was appreciated by the leaders, I helped him write a few more papers, which laid the foundation for him to be an ophthalmologist. I didn't expect things to develop like this. Huamin also blamed himself. If he hadn't helped Ning Ziyuan back then, perhaps nothing would have happened. You were kind enough to him, but not only did he not know how to be grateful, he even pushed all the responsibility to you. When he was with me, he said that you betrayed him and got together with your ex-boyfriend. He said that you were fickle and had a terrible character. At that time, I actually believed him. Actually, he wasn't wrong. I did get together with my ex-boyfriend, but I'm not fickle, Huamin replied quietly. At that time, I even gave you a hard time because of this, but you didn't care about anything. You even saved my life and the child's life. Now, I finally understand why my uncle values you so much. Huamin, I, Wu Xiaoxue, have never admired anyone in my life, but you have truly won me over. If it weren't for all the things that happened in between, I would really want to be friends with you. Don't think too much about it. Take care of the baby. When Huamin walked out of the door, Wu Xiaoxue was still crying in the office. Perhaps it was because pregnant women had complicated emotions. Plus, she had suffered so much, so Wu Xiaoxue must be feeling terrible. Huamin knew that Ning Ziyuan and He-Man were together again because she ran into them once. After staying in the OB/GYN department for a little while longer, Huamin bumped into Ning Ziyuan at the door before leaving. He seemed to have just arrived at work because he wasn't wearing his work uniform yet. Instead, he was wearing casual clothes. Mian, Ning Ziyuan looked up and was pleasantly surprised to see Huamin. Chapter 377. Hello. Huamin's tone was very distant, as if he was talking to a stranger. Why are you here? Aren't you working at Southside? Oh, I'm off today, so I came to see everyone. How are things over there? Very good. I heard you were promoted to the chairman of the Hua Foundation. I'm so jealous. There's nothing to be jealous of. It's just a job, just in name. You're really good. I believe that one day you will become an outstanding doctor. Ning Ziyuan knew that Huamin's dream was to be a doctor, not a nurse, when they were in university. You must be joking. I'm satisfied with being a head nurse. Why would I want to be a doctor? All right, I have to go now. Wait, Mian. Ning Ziyuan obviously didn't want Huamin to leave. Is there anything else? Dr. Ning? My parents came a few days ago and brought me a lot of free-range eggs. They said they were going to give you half of them, but I haven't had the chance to see you. Give me your address. I'll mail them to you later. It's okay. Eggs are fragile. They'll break if you mail them. Dr. Wu is pregnant. You can keep them for her. Thank your parents for their kindness for me. Huamin smiled and nodded, then left gracefully. Right now, Ning Xuan was like a stranger to her. She didn't care about him at all. So, Ning Xuan was right when he said that Huamin never loved him. If he did, he wouldn't be able to face it so easily. When they walked out of the hospital, Huamin happened to have nothing to do, so he drove straight to the university. Unfortunately, Ji Xin was hiking with his friends, so he wasn't at school. On the way back, Zhu Lingling called. While the two chatted, Huamin told Zhu Lingling everything that happened to the hospital. If Ning Ziyuan knows that you're doing well, he'll definitely be jealous. Stay away from him later. That can't be. We broke up peacefully. Isn't there a saying on the internet that goes, as long as you're well, everything will be fine? Wrong. That's 100 years old. Big sister, what's popular now is that if you're well, that's great. Huamin, okay, you win. Huamin was speechless at Zhu Lingling's new words. So, if Ning Ziyuan finds out that you have money, power, and a handsome husband, he will definitely be jealous to death. When the time comes, he might use some dirty tricks behind your back. You really don't think too much. Wrong. It's not that I don't think too much. I just don't want to think of people as bad people, Huamin explained with a smile. By the way, did you bring Gaoren back? No. Huh. You're really stubborn and willful. I can't be bothered with that stupid cop. I'll just let him lie quietly on my blacklist, Zhu Lingling said proudly. That night, at a bar in the city, Ning Zuan drove straight to the bar after work. He didn't go home. Ever since he separated from Wu Xiaoxue, he had gotten used to it. Even when he went home, he was always faced with that cold face. When Yiman saw Ning Ziyuan walk in, she immediately went up to him. Doctor, you're early today. I got off work early. Let's go dance. Without waiting for Ning Ziyuan to finish speaking, Yiman pulled him by the arm and led him to the dance floor. Red lights, green lights, and deafening music. Ning Ziyuan suddenly realized that he actually liked this kind of intoxicating life. Qin Shu went back to the old mansion for dinner, while Huamin was bored and watching TV with a mask on his face. Suddenly, his phone rang. Hello? Huamin, it's me, Wu Xiaoxue. Can you come to my house? I'm not feeling well. Wu Xiaoxue's voice was very weak. Chapter 378. It took Huamin 23 minutes to drive to Wu Xiaoxue's place. It was a high-end neighborhood. Apparently, the Wu family paid for the house and renovations. Huamin knocked on the door, and it took a while for Wu Xiaoxue to open the door. Huamin's heart sank when he saw her. Wu Xiaoxue's face was pale, and there were bloodstains under her white nightgown. What's wrong? Huamin supported Wu Xiaoxue, who was weak. My stomach doesn't feel well, and I don't have any strength. Can you take me to South Side? South Side? Why not the first hospital? They have better medical equipment there. Huamin was surprised. Wu Xiaoxue shook her head. I don't want my colleagues to know about my condition. Please, Huamin. Seeing Wu Xiaoxue's pleading eyes, Huamin finally gave in. He helped her downstairs and drove her to Southside. Southside's facilities were advanced, but the medical team wasn't as good as the first hospitals. After all, it was a place for recuperation. It's late, and there aren't any good gynecologists on duty. If you don't mind, I can examine you. Is that okay? Yes, thank you. Wu Xiaoxue nodded. She didn't doubt Huamin's medical skills at all. Huamin observed Wu Xiaoxue's condition as he drove. He was also a bit worried. He knew that Wu Xiaoxue was arrogant and didn't have many friends. She wouldn't call anyone for help, let alone tell her parents. However, as her husband, where did Ning Ziyuan go? Shouldn't he be with her at a time like this? Dr. Wu, your husband? He's fooling around with a man at a nightclub, Wu Xiaoxue said as she held her stomach in pain. Huamin didn't say anything. He-man just sent me an MMS to show off. Huh. Unfortunately, I don't care anymore. I won't be as stupid as before. After saying that, Wu Xiaoxue turned on her phone and opened a photo. Huamin glanced over. Sure enough, it was Yiman and Ning Ziyuan. They looked very intimate, as if they were dancing. Dr. Wu, should we inform President Wu? Huamin asked, feeling uncertain. No, if my uncle knows, my parents will definitely know. I don't want them to worry about me anymore. Back then, they didn't agree to me marrying Ning Ziyuan. Now that I've chosen this path, I have to finish it even if I have to kneel down, Wu Xiaoxue said, gritting her teeth. Wu Xiaoxue's character was a typical Leo girl. She was strong, domineering, and wanted to be first in everything she did. This kind of life was actually very tiring. At this moment, Huomin no longer had any prejudice against Wu Xiaoxue. Instead, he felt sympathy and pity for her. Seeing how depressed Wu Xiaoxue was, Huomin didn't say anything else. Southside Recuperation Center. Head nurse, why are you here? The nurse on duty was surprised to see Huomin. I'm here to bring a friend for a checkup. You guys can go back to work. After speaking, Huomin helped Wu Xiaoxue up to the OB-GYN department on the top floor. Huomin first ran an ultrasound on her. Then, he drew her blood and sent it to the lab so that his colleagues could rush out the results. Finally, he laid her down on the hospital bed and listened to her fetal heartbeat and electrocardiogram. How is it, Huomin? You might be too agitated and emotionally unstable. That's why your blood pressure is high and your heart rate is a bit fast. The fetus isn't very stable either, and there's something wrong with the fetus breathing rate. Plus, there's blood. There are signs that you're going to have miscarriage. Huomin didn't have the heart to announce the results, but in the end, he still announced the results. When Wu Xiaoxue heard this, her face turned green. Chapter 379. Miscarriage. Wu Xiaoxue couldn't believe it. MHM, your progesterone level is very low right now. It's very dangerous. Then I'll just inject it. Wu Xiaoxue was an OB-GYN, so she naturally knew how to protect the baby. But is there anything else? Wu Xiaoxue had a bad feeling when she saw Huomin's hesitation. You're almost 5 months pregnant. I did a Down syndrome test for you, and the results show? Huomin crossed his arms, looking conflicted. How is it? Is it high risk? Wu Xiaoxue asked nervously. Yes, it's high risk. Huomin nodded. Wu Xiaoxue's heart sank to the bottom when she heard this. Not only was she facing signs of a miscarriage, but the baby was also at high risk? What did this mean? It meant that there was a high chance that the baby was deformed. How was that possible? Wu Xiaoxue thought that she and Ning Ziyuan were both young, and they didn't have any bad habits. Ning Ziyuan occasionally drank alcohol and rarely smoked. How could you be at high risk? Wu Xiaoxue had always wanted to do a Down syndrome test, but when she thought about how young she was and how she wasn't an advanced pregnant woman, she didn't think there would be any problems. Plus, she was busy with work, so she delayed it. If Huomin didn't do it for her today, she wouldn't have known. Oh my God! What should I do? Wu Xiaoxue's tears flowed down uncontrollably, and she panicked. Although she and Ning Ziyuan were in a cold war, she still loved the baby very much. The baby was innocent, and she had worked so hard to keep it. Was she going to have an accident now? Don't worry, we'll solve the problems one by one. The signs of a miscarriage aren't very serious, so we'll inject it first to protect the baby. Calm down. Your mentality is very important right now. Don't be nervous or depressed. Huomin comforted her. So what if we keep it? If it's a deformed baby, we might as well induce labor now. Wu Xiaoxue's voice was hoarse, and she almost couldn't speak. Any woman would not be able to bear such a situation, let alone Wu Xiaoxue. You're now 5 months pregnant. The fetus's hands and feet are already fully developed. If you induce labor, not only will you lose a little life, but your body will also be damaged. You're also a doctor. There are many things that I don't need to tell you. You should understand it yourself. Huomin, what should I do now? I really want this daughter of mine. I really like her. Wu Xiaoxue grabbed Huomin's hand and burst into tears. Because Wu Xiaoxue had done an ultrasound when she was 4 months pregnant, she found out the baby's gender. Although it was a girl, she wasn't unhappy because she was a girl. Instead, she was very excited and bought many beautiful dresses for her unborn daughter. Now that the child was facing a high risk of miscarriage, Wu Xiaoxue felt as if the sky had collapsed. Dr. Wu, calm down and listen to me, okay? Huamin sat by the bed and gently patted Wu Xiaoxue's back. Wu Xiaoxue covered her mouth and cried silently. We can't be too pessimistic. Right now, only the third hospital in Jing City has the best equipment in the country and can perform amniocentesis. So, I suggest that you take a few days off and go to Jing City for a checkup. If the baby is healthy, we'll keep her. If not, then it's okay. We can only say that she's not meant to be with you. You're still young, and you'll have more babies in the future, Huamin said tactfully. Chapter 380. Yeah, I need to go to Jing City. I can't let my imagination run wild. Wu Xiaoxue was so nervous that she lost her ability to think. After hearing Huamin's words, she calmed down a lot. Take an injection every day for the next few days to protect the baby. You also need to pay attention to your diet. Also, don't go to work for the next few days. Take a leave of absence and stay at home to protect the baby. Once you've recovered, you can go to Jing City. Is that okay? Okay. Wu Xiaoxue nodded in agreement with Hua Min's suggestion. It was already 12:30 p.m. when Hua Mian finished her checkup last night. Hua Min drove Wu Xiaoxue home and then left. When she got home, it was almost 1 p.m. Exhausted, she went into the bathroom and took a hot shower. When she came out, she saw that Wu Xiaoxue had sent a text. Thank you, Hua Min. I'm glad you're here with me today. Hua Min smiled but didn't reply. It was too late, and he didn't want to disturb Wu Xiaoxue's rest. Wu Xiaoxue didn't want her colleagues to know about this, nor did she want to go to the first hospital. Hua Min could understand her. After all, she was a prideful person. At 1:30 a.m., Hua Min packed up and was about to go to bed when she heard the sound of the key unlocking the door. She immediately got up and hid behind the bedroom door, ready to trick Qin Shu. Sure enough, after a while, Qin Shu went upstairs and entered his bedroom. Hi! Hua Min suddenly jumped out and hugged Qin Shu's waist from behind. However, Mr. Qin didn't react at all. He turned around, picked up Hua Min, and spun him around in the air. Why aren't you scared? Hua Min pouted and asked. Because I know you're home. Your shoes are at the door this morning. When I was downstairs, I saw that the light in your bedroom was still on. Okay, Mr. Holmes. You're the only one who knows how to reason, right? How boring. Hua Min thought that Qin Shu was too smart, so she wasn't even surprised. Why aren't you asleep yet? Qin Shu thought that Hua Min was already asleep. Yeah, I just came back from the hospital. Aren't you off today? Why did you go to the hospital? Qin Shu remembered Hua Min's schedule. Then, Hua Min briefly to Hua Min to explain what happened. So, you took Ning Ziyuan's wife to the hospital? Ahem. I don't care about her, because she's Ning Ziyuan's wife. Hua Mian nervously tried to explain, but Qin Shu smiled and patted her head. I know, I'm just kidding. To go to the hospital? To go take a shower and go to bed, it's too tiring. To be honest, seeing Qin Shu wake up so early in the morning, Hua Min's heart ached. Don't worry, I have a video conference to attend. You go to bed first. Qin Shu kissed Hua Min's forehead and walked into the study room. He turned on his laptop. Hua Min made a cup of hot coffee and brought it to Hua Min. Then, she helped Qin Shu close the door to the study room. The next morning, when Hua Min woke up, Qin Shu had already prepared breakfast. She washed up and went downstairs to sit at the dining table. Before she could finish, she heard Qin Shu say, You don't have to go to work today. I asked for 3 days off for you. Oh, why? Hua Min was surprised. Because I want to give you a little honeymoon starting today. Honeymoon? Hua Min was completely confused. Chapter 381. Yes. Where are we going? It's a secret, Qin Shu said in all seriousness. Hua Min, okay, I don't think we'll be able to go anywhere in 3 days. Hua Min actually wanted to go to the Maldives, but it was too far away. It would take 4 days just to get there, and if they were to play, it would take them at least 10 days to get back. For her and Qin Shu, 10 days of vacation was too extravagant and unrealistic. Qin Shu was being mysterious and refused to tell her, and Hua Min didn't ask either. After breakfast, she prepared to go upstairs. Where are you going? I'm going to pack my stuff. I'm bringing sunscreen, clothes, and personal items. Oh yeah, do you want to bring a tent? Are we going to the beach or the mountains? Chin-Chu looked helpless. You don't have to bring anything when we come back, just bring me. Hwami nodded. Okay, I'll bring you, and you bring money. Chin-Chu, okay. Chin-Chu didn't know when his wife became so talkative. She probably learned it from that shrew, Zhu Lingling. Her words were a little funny sometimes. Okay? After breakfast, Chin-Chu held Hwamin's hand and left the house. Although they didn't bring anything, the two of them had changed into casual clothes. They were dressed in dark gray from an outdoor luxury brand. The style was very nice, and it was the same for both men and women. It seemed like it was really planned. Chin-Chu even changed his car and put his Maybach in the garage. He was driving a black Range Rover. Hwamin was still in a daze when they got on the highway. Where are we going? Are you going to sell me? No, if I sell you, I won't have a wife, Chin-Chu said in all seriousness. Hwamin was in a great mood. She took out her phone, opened her WeChat friend circle, and posted a short video on the road. Then, she wrote, a trip that ended abruptly. It was indeed an abrupt trip because there was no prior planning or forewarning. She was dragged away by Chin-Chu all of a sudden and was forced to take 3 days off on her behalf by Chin-Chu. Zhu Lingling immediately commented, going out to play and not calling me. Bad review. I'm going with Mr. Chin. Are you sure you want to come? Then forget it. I don't want to be a third wheel. Ha, that's why. I didn't call you. Where are you going? Are you coming back that day? I don't know where we're going. Mr. Chin doesn't want to tell me. He's being mysterious. It's a 3-day trip. 3 days? All right, you're really too willful. Have a nice trip. Zhu Lingling said enviously. Ioyo, where did you go? Gao Ran commented. I don't know where we're going. Mr. Chin didn't want to tell me, so I just followed him. You're torturing us single dogs to death. You two have such a good life. TSK. Do you want to come along? It's fine. I don't want to be a third wheel. Gao Ran agreed with Zhu Lingling. If you come with Lingling, then you won't be a third wheel. Hwamin teased him on purpose. Zhu Lingling is going too. Gao Ran was obviously interested. You can ask her. Sis, I'm still on her blacklist. Gao Ran looked helpless. Then you could go to her house and block her. She can run away, but the temple can't, Hwamin suggested. Hey, you don't say. That's a good idea. No wonder Chin-Chu said you're smart. You're indeed better than us. Gao Ran exclaimed. Hwamin couldn't help but chuckle. What's making you laugh so happily? Chin-Chu couldn't help but ask. Chapter 382. I was flirting with Comrade Zhu Lingling and Comrade Gao Ran. Are the two of them still at odds? Chin-Chu had never been interested in other people's business, but he was speechless at how Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling got along. You think they're fighting too? Hwamin chuckled. What else? Okay, we'll think the same thing. But I don't think it'll take long for this to be resolved. Miss Zhu Lingling won't be able to hold it in. Chin-Chu smirked and didn't say anything. They drove on the highway for 5 hours. It was really far. During this time, Hwamin kept asking if he wanted to drive for a while, but Chin-Chu refused. With his wife by his side, he wasn't sleepy at all. Even the scenery along the way was more beautiful than usual. 5 hours later, Chin-Chu turned off the highway and drove into the depths of the mountains. When they arrived, Hwamin realized that this was the famous sacred mountain in the north, Yending Mountain. Yending Mountain was located at the northern edge of the border with Country E and Country C. This was the border between the 3 countries. Hence, it was called One Look at the 3 Countries. Hwamin had wanted to come to Yending Mountain for a long time because it was said that the scenery was beautiful. However, the road was difficult and it wasn't very safe, so she gave up. She didn't expect Chin-Chu to bring her here. Looking at the majestic mountains in front of her, Hwamin's heart was deeply shaken. If you didn't see it with your own eyes, you would never know how magical and magnificent nature's uncanny workmanship was. Yending Mountain is really beautiful. The continuous mountain range is really magical, Hwamin exclaimed. The two of them parked the car in front of the parking lot of a super luxurious 5-star hotel and got out of the car. Hwamin looked up at the name of the hotel Golden Palm International Resort and Spa. At first glance, one could tell that it was a high-class name. The building was also magnificent and magnificent. The Chinese style mixed with Russian style made people's eyes light up. Qin Chu held Huomin's hand and walked in. The doorman carefully opened the door for them. Front desk, would you like to check in? Yes. Sir, which room would you like to stay in? Have you made a reservation? I don't have a reservation. I want the presidential suite. Qin Chu answered proudly. Yes, sir. The presidential suite is available now. How many nights would you like to stay? 2 nights. Okay, please show me your ID cards, the waitress said politely. Qin Chu slowly opened his wallet and handed over his ID. The waitress took it and glanced at it. She was dumbfounded. Chairman Qin. What the waitress said alarmed the other 3 receptionists. They looked at the ID card and then looked at Qin Chu. Finally, they took out their luggage. Hello, President Qin. What's going on? This time, it was Huomin's turn to be dumbfounded. I'm here on vacation. You don't have to be so formal. Okay, President Qin. Your room is ready. Just take the elevator to the top floor. Thank you. Qin Chu took the room card and held Huomin's hand. Hey, honey, we haven't paid yet. It's our own business. Why do we have to pay? Qin Chu asked, amused. Our own business? Huomin didn't know how to react. 2 months ago, GK spent 3.9 billion yuan to buy the Golden Palm International Resort and the expansion of Yunding Mountain. So, from now on, this resort belongs to GK. Wow, that's so capricious. Although Huomin knew that GK was rich, he was still shocked. 3.9 billion yuan. After all, it wasn't as easy as buying groceries at the market. Qin Chu took the room card and went up to the 18th floor. It was more than 300 square meters and had a great view. The windows were all made of tempered glass and were completely transparent. There weren't any other buildings around, so the privacy was top-notch. After opening one of the windows, Huomin closed his eyes and breathed in the fresh air. He exclaimed, "The air quality here is amazing." Qin Chu took off his jacket and walked over. He carefully wrapped his arms around Huomin's waist and rested his chin on Huomin's shoulder. Do you like it here? His tone was extremely gentle. Chapter 383. Yes, I like it a lot. Huomin opened her eyes and leaned into Qin Chu's arms, looking at the endless mountains in the distance. The holidays are a little short this time, so I came here to relax. When you have time for your annual vacation, I'll take you to the Maldives. Okay, Huomin nodded happily. Just then, the internal phone rang. Hello. Okay, got it. Let's go eat. Then, the 2 of them went downstairs to the 15th floor. There was a high-end Western restaurant on the 15th floor. After Huomin entered, she was surprised to find that there were only the 2 of them in the huge revolving restaurant. Why are there so few customers? Just the 2 of us? Huomin was confused. The hotel CEO probably ordered them to clear the place. Qin Chu guessed. Sure enough, as soon as the 2 of them sat down, a slightly plump middle-aged man in his 40s walked over. He was wearing a high-end suit. He walked up to Qin Chu and bowed slightly. President Qin, why didn't you tell me you were coming? I could pick you up. I decided on the spur of the moment. Is this your friend? The hotel CEO asked politely. No, she's my wife, Qin Chu replied. The hotel CEO was slightly surprised at first, but then he immediately bowed. A young lady, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Huomin nodded in response. President Qin, a young lady, lunch has been prepared for you. If you need anything, just let the kitchen know. Okay, if there's nothing else, I'll go downstairs first. Have fun. When the hotel's manager heard that the boss of the company was coming, he didn't dare to delay and immediately came to greet them. He even prepared a sumptuous lunch for Qin Chu and his wife. Looking at the red wine, steak, fruit salad, foie gras, caviar, and desserts on the table, Huomin's mood became even better. It looks delicious. Huomin licked her lips. Qin Chu smiled dotingly. He picked up a roasted red prawn and put on Huomin's plate. At this time, Huomin suddenly thought of something and said, Hubby, I have something to tell you. Yes. Hua Xiqian went to Southside a few days ago and donated to the Hua Foundation. Then, he made me the chairman. Huamin briefly told him about Hua Xiqian. She felt that she could not hide it from Qin Chu. Qin Chu nodded. Since he wants to spend money to do good deeds, you should fulfill his wish. I think so too, but I don't think his purpose this time is as simple as doing a good deed. Do you think he's plotting something? Not necessarily. Let's wait and see. Qin Chu was also very careful with Hua Xiqian. Well, aren't you angry? Why would I be angry? Hua Xiqian always does things to Southside. Huamin said slowly. As long as he doesn't do anything to hurt you, let him be. Just don't touch my minefield. Qin Chu had no time to deal with Hua Xiqian. In his opinion, Su Yu seemed to be a more difficult opponent to deal with. However, he would not tell Huamin this, in case she thought too much and did not rest well. After the two had a delicious lunch, Qin Chu had a video conference in the conference room. Huamin was bored, so she changed into a white sundress and casual pants from the PR department and went downstairs for a walk. A young lady. Hello, a young lady. Along the way, no matter who she met, they would call her a young lady. She was not used to it. She logged on to Weibo, which she had not been on for a long time, and took a few pictures of the beautiful scenery and posted them. She wrote, I want a house. I don't want it to be luxurious. I want to live happily ever after. A few seconds later, Su Yu sent her a private message. What kind of house do you want? I'll give you one. Chapter 384. I don't need it, thank you. I'm not joking. I'm serious, Su Yu insisted. I'm not joking either. I'm serious too. I really don't need it. At work? No. At home? No. Then where are you? Su Yu sent a rolling eyes emoji. On vacation. By yourself? No. She wanted to say that she was with her husband, but Huamin didn't want others to think that she was showing off her husband. However, as smart as Su Yu was, he could guess who she was with. Therefore, he fell silent and didn't reply. Private messaging was the only way he could contact Huamin. In order to prevent fans from noticing, he couldn't comment. He could only send private messages. What a waste. Most importantly, Huamin didn't go on Weibo often. She would only go on it once in a while when she felt like it, so she was rarely online. Poor Su Yu was connected to Weibo 24/7 and only followed Huamin's updates. As soon as she updated her Weibo, he would immediately talk to her. All in all, his methods were quite childish. After Qin Chu finished his meeting, he went downstairs to find Huamin. The two of them held hands as they strolled in the garden in front of the hotel. Listening to the birds chirping in the surrounding forest, they felt exceptionally happy. Did you notice that the sky here is bluer than where we came from? Huamin raised her head and looked at the sky. She felt like the clouds were like cotton, floating in the blue sky. That's because this place is untouched. There's no car exhaust, no heavy industrial processing plants, and no smog. This is great. This is a place suitable for humans to live in. The reinforced concrete feels like a cage. Hubby, when we're old, can we retire here? Okay, we'll go wherever you want. Qin Chu's eyes were filled with love. You seem to be very busy recently. Yeah, a little. The company is about to hold its 30-year anniversary celebration. Then why did you bring me out? Huamin was surprised. Aren't I just taking a break from work? Also, I might not be able to take care of you when I get busy in a few days, so it's good to bring you here in advance to relax. You're in an environment like Southside, where you're in contact with recuperating patients. It's inevitable that you'll feel depressed after a while. That's true. They keep saying that it hurts here and there. After watching them for a long time, I feel that I'm in pain too. Huamin pursed his lips and smiled. Before dinner in the evening, Huamin and Qin Chu went to a hot spring not far away under the arrangement of the hotel. It was actually natural. Huamin liked this place very much because it was very original and there were not many changes. Above the hot spring was the mountain range of Mount Yinding. It was very romantic to soak in the warm hot spring while snowflakes floated down the mountain from time to time. One of the wonders of Mount Yinding was that the peak of the mountain was covered in snow all year round, and it never melted. Therefore, many friends from the south who had never seen snow in their lives, would scream in surprise when they came here. It was simply too beautiful. It was like a fairy tale kingdom covered in white snow. Mr. Chin, thank you for bringing me to such a wonderful place. Thank you for taking me to eat so much good food and see such beautiful scenery. Huamin raised a small glass of red wine and smiled as he sat on a floating tray in the hot spring. Goddess Hua, thank you for coming back to my side. Thank you for being with me every day. Thank you for holding my hand and walking through every nook and cranny. Why come home late at night? Thank you for leaving a warm light for me. Chin Chu raised his glass. So, is it really okay for us to be so sentimental? Huamin chuckled. Chin Chu didn't say anything. Instead, he raised his glass and leaned over. He tilted his head and kissed Huamin's slightly red lips, catching her off guard. Chapter 385. Inside the natural hot spring at 45 degrees Celsius. Only the two of them were kissing in silence occasionally. Large snowflakes would fall from the mountains. The high-end equipment at the edge of the hot spring was playing the English version of the classic Disney animation Frozen. Let's go. Huamin thought that she would never forget such a heartwarming scene. Even years later, when she thought of this scene, she would still feel tears welling up in her eyes. Chin Chu had spent a lot of effort to turn her unintentional words from a young girl into a dream. She remembered that it was 7 years ago. The two of them went to the ski resort together. At the time, Huamin said, "It would be great if we could have our own resort in the future, with snow as the theme. There's a hot spring, an ice rink, and snowflakes floating above our heads when we soak in the hot spring. Wow, just thinking about it makes me want to die. It would be best if we could play some appropriate music. Just thinking about it makes me feel romantic." That day will come, Chin Chu said faintly at the time. Huamin didn't take it to heart. Now that 7 years had passed, she had forgotten about the past. Chin Chu, on the other hand, had painstakingly helped her realize a dream that wasn't even a dream. After a long time, Chin Chu reluctantly let go of Huamin. Then, the two of them clinked glasses and took small sips of red wine. It wasn't until dinner time that the person in charge of the hot spring cautiously walked over to remind them, "President Chin, a young lady, dinner is ready. Please come to the 15th floor." Chin Chu nodded. Then, he held Huamin's hand and walked out of the hot spring. Then, he wrapped a white towel around her. After changing into their evening attire, the two of them returned to the hotel together. Chin Chu's subordinates were very reliable. As soon as they heard that the president and a young lady were going to have dinner together, they immediately went to work. Chin Chu was dressed in a black slim-fit suit, looking very fashionable. Huamin was dressed in a white strapless evening gown. An exquisite peony flower bloomed on her collarbone, perfectly covering her cleavage. Paired with a pair of white high heels, her aura was simply heaven-defying. After changing in the suite, Huamin walked out. She walked very slowly because she rarely wore high heels. She was afraid of falling. The moment Chin Chu saw Huamin, a trace of amazement flashed through his eyes. He always knew that his Mion's aura was extremely strong when she dressed up. "It's just a meal. Is there a need to be so grand?" Huamin was slightly shy. After all, she wasn't used to dressing up like this. She felt that she couldn't let go. "Let's go. We still have guests to meet later." Guests? Huamin was confused. It was such a formal occasion. Could it be? After thinking of something, Huamin started to feel uneasy. "Chin Chu, listen to me. I'm not ready yet. I know what you're worried about." "Don't worry. I'm not taking you to meet my parents." Chin Chu carefully patted the back of Hua Min's hand to comfort her. Seeing that Chin Chu had hit the nail on the head, Huamin lowered her head and didn't say anything. It didn't matter who it was, as long as it wasn't Chin Chu's parents. She was sure that she wouldn't have a pleasant dinner with Chin Chu's parents. When Chin Chu and Huamin walked past, many waitresses whispered to each other, "President Chin is so handsome. Oh my God, he's so much more photogenic in person. He's like a celebrity." Yeah, President Chin looks so young. He's probably not more than 30 years old. A young lady looks okay. She's not that stunning. I really don't know how she captured President Qin's heart. Yeah. President Qin is so perfect. It's a pity that he's with a young lady. Although their voices were low, Huamin could still hear some complaints. She couldn't help but laugh. Then, she tightened her grip on Qin Shu's arm. Inside the Chinese restaurant on the 15th floor, when Qin Shu and Huamin walked in, there were already people waiting inside. Upon seeing who it was, Huamin's eyes lit up with joy. Chapter 386. You too. How dare you play along with Qin Shu to surprise me? Do you want to die? Huh. Take them out and behead them. Huamin laughed. Zhu Lingling and Gao Ran both stood up. Zhu Lingling was wearing a crimson evening gown that was a little sexy on one shoulder. Gao Ran was wearing a navy blue suit that looked luxurious. His formal attire was completely different from his usual self. Queen Hua, please forgive me. Your husband didn't want to tell you and wanted to give you a surprise. It is indeed a surprise. So, are you guys back together? Gao Ran, Zhu Lingling, Huamin then pointed at Zhu Lingling. You're not mad at him anymore? You pulled him back from the blacklist? It seems like Mr. Qin invited us here for free food, fun, and even a stay in the presidential suite. I'll forgive him. Tisk TSK. Your integrity is all over the floor. Huamin chuckled. What's the point of having integrity? It's not like you can eat it. You can eat and play, but you can't spend money. That's right, it's a waste not to eat it. Gao Ran played along. So you guys are here to eat enemies. Qin Shu said faintly. Oh, of course not. President Qin, come and sit. Gao Ran pulled out a chair and called out to Qin Shu. The four of them sat down facing each other. Huamin glanced at Qin Shu. If I knew they were coming, I wouldn't have dressed so formally. Don't worry, you'll find out soon enough. Qin Shu smiled mysteriously. What's going on? Is Gao Ran confessing to Lingling? Huamin asked casually. Ahem. Gao Ran was so scared that he coughed violently. Zhu Lingling also had an awkward expression on her face. Is there such a segment? Qin Shu looked at Gao Ran, amused. Gao Ran quickly waved his hand. No, absolutely not. All right, let's eat first. Qin Shu waved his hand, and the waiters brought the dishes in one after another. In the middle was a huge iron pot. It was still hot when it was brought up, and there was still a fire burning underneath. Stovefish? Huamin glanced at the big fish and asked curiously. It doesn't look like it. Zhu Lingling shook her head. This is a special stew method. The fish was caught from the Yending River and is very fresh. This kind of fish is relatively rare and can only be found in this place. It tastes very delicious. Some local seasonings were added and it was simmered for more than 3 hours. It is said that it is a dish that the local people must cook during the New Year and other festivals. Qin Shu changed his usual attitude and explained. It looks good. It's very appetizing. Gao Ran picked up his chopsticks and was eager to try it. Then, the waiters brought in some wild vegetables and local fruits one after another. The four of them filled the entire table. It was like delicacies when Qin Shu called Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling and invited them to eat, drink, and have fun. They immediately agreed. They agreed without a second thought, but Qin Shu added that he had a request. It was that the two of them had to come together and Gao Ran had to drive Zhu Lingling. Otherwise, neither of them should come. Therefore, the two of them miraculously reconciled because they came out to eat, drink, and have fun. During the meal, Qin Shu kept putting food in Huamin's bowl. Try this. It's a local wild vegetable. Okay. Oh my God. Can you two stop torturing the single people? Turn off your PDA mode. It's annoying to see you like this. Gao Ran was extremely envious. It's a crime to show off your PDA, Zhu Lingling also argued. Huamin looked up and said slowly, freeloaders shouldn't cause trouble. Let's eat properly. She really is a young lady. Even her tone is so arrogant. Zhu Lingling and Gao Ran teased each other. Every time the four of them ate together, they would fight until the sky turned upside down. Qin Shu was also a little more talkative than usual. In short, the atmosphere was very lively. An hour later, Qin Shu looked at his watch. It's about time. Everyone, let's go. Where are we going? Are there other activities? Gaoran stood up and asked with a smile. You'll know when we get there. Qin Chu didn't say much. Huamin felt that Qin Chu was a little strange this time. He didn't want to say much, as if he was hiding some secret. Chapter 387. Qin Chu took the elevator down to the second floor with the three of them. Inside the Clivia ballroom on the second floor. The moment the door was pushed open, Huamin felt like the flashing lights were too bright. She couldn't even open her eyes. President Qin. Many people came over to greet him. The ballroom was about 300 to 400 square meters, and it was decorated in a Western-style setting. There were also a lot of people. President Qin, you're here. It's almost time. The hotel's general manager walked up and said carefully. Qin Chu nodded, then turned to Huamin and said, Give me a second. Okay. Then, Qin Chu walked onto the stage under the guidance of the hotel's general manager. Next, let's welcome our company's CEO, Mr. Qin Chu, to give a speech. Then, thunderous applause followed. Do you feel like your man has a halo on his head right now? Zhu Lingling asked with a smile. Do you think he's Cupid, with a halo on his head? Huamin couldn't help but laugh. At this time, Huamin, Gao Ran, and Zhu Lingling stood below the stage and watched Qin Chu, who had a halo on his head, give a speech. At the beginning of his speech, Qin Chu said, Ever since I took over the resort, I discovered that the economy here is poor due to the lack of transportation. Many children in the mountainous areas don't even finish primary school. I was deeply moved by this. My wife is a medical worker, and she has a kind and sincere heart. I believe that, like me, she is willing to help those in need. So today, I'm announcing the creation of the Mian Angel Children's Foundation in my wife's name. Our goal is to help the children around Yinding Mountain rebuild their school. Thank you, everyone. After Qin Chu finished speaking, thunderous applause followed. Meanwhile, Huamin's eyes were already glistening with tears. She was truly shocked by Qin Chu's secrecy. Mian Angel Children's Foundation. Oh my, your husband loves you so much. Zhu Lingling felt touched. Huamin bit her lip and didn't say anything until Qin Chu walked down from the stage. Their eyes met, and that was more than 1,000 words. Beautiful Mrs. Qin, may I invite you for a dance? Qin Chu stretched out his hand in a gentlemanly gesture. With tears in her eyes, Huamin offered her fair little hand, and the two of them walked onto the dance floor in each other's arms. She danced the first waltz of the banquet to the music. When it came to the waltz, Huamin didn't know how to do it, nor did he have the spare money to learn it. He only learned it when he was in school. The two of them went skating together. Qin Chu taught her how to dance the waltz on the ice as he skated with her. After 7 years, Huamin was still dancing so well. Even Zhu Lingling was surprised. Oh my God, when did this lady learn how to waltz? Even her steps are so standard. Gao Ran gave Qin Chu a thumbs up and complimented. Qin Chu looks like he doesn't talk much. I didn't expect him to be such a flirt. The banquet was quite lively. Most of the guests were local officials and leaders, and many local entrepreneurs were also invited. It was very lively. Huamin had never been so high-profile before. Luckily, this was Yinding Mountain, not Sea City. He believed that it wouldn't be published in the newspapers, and his mother definitely wouldn't find out. After fooling around for a while, the four of them left the scene together. They ran to the lawn outside the hotel to get some fresh air. The night sky was always so bright. Looking at the stars from this latitude was a unique experience. Suddenly, a shooting star flashed by. Look at the shooting star. Zhu Lingling immediately closed her eyes and made a wish. Then, Huamin and Gao Ran both closed their eyes and pretended to make a wish. Qin Chu, why didn't you allow it? Gao Ran opened his eyes after making his wish and saw Qin Chu still standing there like a fool. My wish came true 4 months ago, Qin Chu said as he looked gently at Huamin's side profile. Chapter 388. After Huamin heard this, he slowly opened his eyes and looked into Qin Chu's eyes with deep affection. Oh my God, here they go again. they're torturing us again. Venomous Tongue Ling, let's get away from them. Gao Ran grabbed Zhu Lingling's hand and stepped back to give Qin Shu and Huamin some space. Hey, let go of me. Don't touch me, stupid cop. Zhu Lingling obviously hadn't finished making her wish, so she was obviously unhappy when Gao Ran pulled her away. What did you wish for? Qin Shu walked over and put one arm around Hua Min's shoulder. It's a secret. Tell me. Maybe I can help you make it happen. If it's easy to make, it's not a wish. Hua Min smiled mysteriously. Okay, honey, whatever you say is right. The four of them had a lot of fun in the hotel garden. The streetlights in front of the hotel were very unique. Just like a rainbow, it gave people a breathtaking feeling. The 7 colors were constantly changing. The atmosphere today is so good. Why don't the 4 of us play a game? Zhu Lingling suggested. Sure, how do we play? Hua Min asked with a smile. Let's play table tennis. Whoever says something wrong will have to jump into the fountain. Do you dare? Gao Ran pointed at the pool that was less than half a meter deep in front of them and said excitedly, No problem. Qin Shu nodded. I agree. Hua Min nodded. I don't care. Let's play who's scared. Zhu Lingling raised her chin and expressed her dissatisfaction. Then let's start with me. Gao Ran immediately said a word. Ping. Qin Shu, ping. Hua Min, ball. Zhu Lingling, ball. Big sister, you should say ping. I'm the one who said ping. Hua Min looked at Zhu Lingling helplessly. He knew that every time they played word games, Zhu Lingling was the slowest to react among the 4 of them. 7 years ago, it was the same, and 7 years later, it was still the same. I'm sorry. This time doesn't count. Let's do it again. Zhu Lingling obviously wanted to act shamelessly. That's not very nice of you. Big sis, you should jump into the pool. Otherwise, it won't be hard to convince the crowd. Hua Min said deliberately. That's right. If everyone says that this round doesn't count, then what's the point? Qin Shu followed suit. You two are really adding insult to injury. Zhu Lingling gritted her teeth in anger. Just as she grabbed her evening gown and was about to jump into the pool, she suddenly heard Gao Ran say, Wait, I'll jump for you. Your gown is too inconvenient. If you accidentally fall in and drown, then something bad will happen. Fuck you, don't you know how to talk? You're the one who drowns. Zhu Lingling was so angry that she rolled her eyes. At this moment, Gao Ran proudly jumped into the pool with a splash, creating a huge splash. Hua Min immediately clapped and shouted, What a real man. Of course, I didn't learn anything else in the police academy. I only learned how to torture myself, Gao Ran replied as he wiped the water off his face. To be honest, the moment Gao Ran jumped into the pool, Zhu Lingling was quite touched. Although it was just a game, she was still surprised to see him like this. You saved the damsel in distress. I'll give you a 9 out of 10. I don't want you to get too proud of yourself, Qin Shu said as he looked at Gao Ran. The 4 of them played 4 rounds. Zhu Lingling lost 3 rounds. Luckily, Gao Ran helped her, so Gao Ran became a drowned rat. After the 4 of them finished playing and were walking back to their hotel rooms, Hua Min suddenly whispered into Qin Shu's ear, Mr. Qin, I really want to know, how many rooms did you book for them today? Why don't you guess? Qin Shu slowly smiled. Chapter 389. I'm guessing it's 1, but I'm sure you gave them 2. Hua Min knew Mr. Qin well. He wasn't a playful person, so he definitely wouldn't prepare a room for Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling. Qin Shu lovingly pinched Hua Min's nose. You're smart. You know me that well. Of course, Hua Min said proudly. She had known Qin Shu for a long time. They had been in love since they were teenagers, so she could roughly guess what he was thinking. Yes, there are 2 rooms, but at this point, Qin Shu wanted to say something but hesitated. But what? Hua Min was confused. Was there something fishy going on? Nothing, we'll see. It's going to be interesting. Qin Shu's lips curled up slightly. Zhu Lingling and Gao Ran were both on the same floor, the top floor of the 18th floor. Qin Shu was really generous. When Zhu Lingling returned to her room, she screamed. Then Gao Ran heard the noise from next door and immediately went to check. Only then did he realize that the lights in Zhu Lingling's room were broken, and none of them were on. He called the front desk, and the receptionist said that they would get an electrician to fix it. However, it was too late, so the electrician went back to the village to sleep. It would take him a while to get here by bike. After waiting for half an hour, Zhu Lingling finally lost her patience. I can't wait any longer. I'm too sleepy. Give me another room. Sorry, there are no other rooms available, the receptionist replied. Zhu Lingling was surprised. If there's no presidential suite, other rooms are fine too. Sorry, there are no other rooms available. Are you kidding me? You have 18 floors here, and there are at least 700 to 800 rooms, right? How can there be no rooms? Zhu Lingling was in disbelief. Although there are a lot of rooms, there are a lot of guests staying here because the president held a charity banquet tonight. Tomorrow, there might be rooms available. Tomorrow? Then should I stay at your front desk tonight? Zhu Lingling was annoyed. I'm sorry, Miss Zhu. Why don't you stay with your friend first? The waiter asked kindly. What? Gao Ran immediately said, Mine is also a presidential suite. There are 3 bedrooms in it, so it's very convenient. Yes, Miss Zhu. The presidential suites are very large and have good privacy. You can stay in your friend's room. When the electrician finishes the repairs tomorrow, you can come back to stay. Is that okay? Because the receptionist knew that Zhu Lingling was the president's friend, she was very polite to her. Hearing the waiter's words, Zhu Lingling was convinced. Okay, then I'll stay at your place for the night. But I'm warning you, don't do anything stupid. Zhu Lingling still had a lingering fear when she thought about what happened at the hotel last time. Don't worry, I won't do anything even if you beg me. I drank too much last time, okay? Gao Ran said helplessly. Hearing what Gao Ran said, Zhu Lingling was completely relieved, so, in the middle of the night, she wore a bathrobe and went to Gao Ran's room next door, inside the other presidential suite. Huamin lay on the soft bed and asked Qin Shu with a smile, So, is it really okay for you to be so two-faced? If Lingling finds out that you asked someone to do this on purpose, she'll definitely fight you to the death. Why would she fight me to the death? I'm just helping them. Qin Shu didn't think much of it. Breaking the lights in someone's room and then saying that there were no rooms available was such a lousy excuse. Even Huamin didn't believe it, but Zhu Lingling actually believed it. So, she wasn't good enough? Are you tired? I'll get you a bath. Okay, I want to take a bubble bath. Huamin said coquettishly. Qin Shu nodded and lovingly kissed Huamin's forehead. Then, he got up and went to the bathroom to get the water ready. Huamin lay on the bed and thought about what might happen if Zhu Lingling went to Gao Ran's room. He thought it would be very interesting. After some time, Huamin magically fell asleep. When she woke up, she found herself in a bubble bath. She was surrounded by warm water and sweet rose essential oil. You're awake? Qin Shu's voice suddenly sounded, startling Huamin. Chapter 390. I'm not sleepwalking, am I? How did I get in? I carried you in. Where are my clothes? Huamin asked, dumbfounded. I took them off. So, you're watching me shower? Huamin was on the verge of breaking down. Qin Shu was calmly sitting on a chair in the bathroom, watching his wife shower while watching the stock market on his tablet. I'm not watching. I'm accompanying you in the shower, Qin Shu corrected. Oh my God, is there anyone else as shameless as you? How could you be so rational as to peek at me in the shower? Huamin was so angry that she laughed. We're husband and wife. There's no such thing as peeking. Everything is legal. Qin Shu put down his tablet and said righteously. Okay, then Mr. Qin, can you go out for a second? I'm going to start showering. No, why not? Because I want to help you. After speaking, Qin Shu walked over and reached his hand into the bathtub. Huamin screamed in fear. The two of them played around as they showered, splashing water all over the floor. By the time Qin Shu carried Huamin out of the bathtub, it was already 12:30 p.m. Huamin was wrapped in a towel and scattered on the floor. Under the dim light, her perfect body was extremely seductive. Qin Shu's eyes darkened as he looked at her. Mian. His voice was a little hoarse, but it was fatally seductive. Huamin looked at Qin Shu with deep affection. She knew what she was about to face. Can I? Mr. Qin was afraid that Huamin would be unhappy, so he took the initiative to ask. Huamin nodded shyly. Her pale fingertips slid across his lips, all the way down to his neck. Qin Shu swallowed, his Adam's apple visibly moving. He thought, I'm a person with strong willpower. I'm not interested in anything except for Huamin. Huamin is a poison that I can't get rid of for the rest of my life. It eats at my heart and rots my bones. Inside the beige round curtain, two figures were entangled together, and even their breathing had become hurried. Qin Shu was no longer the reckless and impulsive young man he was 7 years ago, and Huamin was no longer an inexperienced girl. They were already mature enough. They were so mature that this was the first time they were infatuated with each other after 7 years. Qin Shu's kiss was very slow and light, as if he was worshipping an extremely sacred object, nibbling away at it bit by bit. The large hand continued to move downward, exploring the area that it had never touched before. Huamin felt her body getting hotter and hotter, and her face getting redder and redder. Even breathing became difficult. One of her legs was wrapped around Qin Shu's broad waist, and one of her hands was wrapped around his neck. Huamin's mind was already wandering between dream and reality. She thought, as a woman, the happiest thing in her life was to give herself to the man she loved the most. Although this was the second time, compared to the ridiculous drunken act 7 years ago, this was the first time. After enough foreplay, Qin Shu finally dared to truly fuse with Huamin. The thing he was most afraid of was hurting her. Does it hurt? He asked lovingly. Huamin shook her head. Then she melted into Qin Shu's endless love. Finally, she turned into specks of starlight and flew up into the clouds. When she woke up again, it was already 8 in the morning the next day. When Huamin woke up, she opened her eyes to see Qin Shu leaning on his head and looking at her. His eyes were filled with endless gentleness. Did you sleep well? Qin Shu asked gently. Chapter 391. Very good. Huamin's lips curved upwards, revealing the most refreshing smile of the morning. Do you want to eat breakfast in the room or in the dining room? He asked as he held her hand. Let's go to the dining room. I'll get up and clean up. After speaking, Huamin was about to get up. Suddenly, her expression changed. What's wrong? Qin Shu asked anxiously when he realized that something was wrong. I think that thing came. What thing? Qin Shu was confused. My relative, my period. Huamin looked like she was about to cry. Qin Shu finally realized what was going on. He lifted Huamin's blanket and saw a pool of dark red blood. Qin Shu was completely speechless and didn't know what to say. However, he was really glad that her period came this morning. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had a one-night stand like last night. Don't move. I'll get someone to bring you some. After comforting Huamin, Qin Shu picked up his phone and made a call. 3 minutes later, the waiter knocked on the door. Qin Shu walked over and opened the door. President Qin, here are the things you need. Qin Shu nodded and took a handbag. Inside were 5 packs of sanitary pads and a few pairs of brand new underwear. Go and change. Okay. Huamin nodded and shyly took the sanitary pads and underwear into the bathroom. Half an hour later, she washed up, put on some light makeup, and walked out wearing the evening gown from last night. Qin Shu saw it and shook his head. Don't wear this. Change into that casual outfit. Why? Huamin didn't understand. Wasn't this dress pretty enough? It's too thin. You can't catch a cold for the next few days. Okay. Sure enough, Mr. Qin was very thoughtful. Huamin immediately went into the bathroom and changed into the casual outfit he wore when he arrived. By the time they arrived at the restaurant, it was almost 9 o'clock. When Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling saw that they were late, they sighed and said, You two must have been very intense last night. You fought until dawn, right? That's why I woke up so late. Of course, such shameless words must have come from Gao Ran. Huamin didn't retort as usual. Instead, his face turned red. Zhu Lingling immediately realized that something was wrong. She carefully took Huamin's hand and asked in a low voice, What happened last night? Nothing happened. That's impossible. Did they consummate their marriage? Zhu Lingling asked. Consummate your head. Hurry up and eat. Stop talking. Huamin became angry and stopped talking nonsense with Zhu Lingling. Gao Ran, on the other hand, continued to tease Qin Shu. Mr. Qin, you're still able to get up after last night's battle. Your body is indeed in good shape. Qin Shu slowly replied, My kidneys have always been in good shape. Unlike you, you still need 6 boxes of all-nourishing pills. How is that possible? My body is in good shape. I don't need any bullshit pills. Qin Shu, you're really good at slandering me, Gao Ran yelled. Qin Shu looked at him, then looked at Zhu Lingling. Suddenly, he changed the topic. I heard that you two slept in the same room last night. Ahem. Gao Ran coughed violently. Zhu Lingling immediately explained, That's because the light in my room didn't work. The electrician didn't come, and there weren't any other rooms available. That's why? Okay. Don't explain. We believe you. Huamin smiled and patted Zhu Lingling's hand. Ahem. Why do I feel like you don't believe me? Zhu Lingling asked pitifully when she saw Hua Min's perfunctory expression. Chu, we're going back today. We have some business to take care of, Gao Ran suddenly interrupted. Are you two going to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get married? Huamin asked back. Chapter 392. Goddess Hua, can you not be so scary with your words? How am I supposed to live if I get married to her? Gao Ran glanced at Huamin. Hey, how can you say that? What do you mean you can't live? What's wrong with me? Didn't you take the initiative to invite me to your suite last night? Otherwise, do you think I'd care? I realize that you stinky cop. Why do you always act so differently in front of others? Aren't you a hypocrite? Zhu Lingling was obviously angry. I didn't mean that. What I meant was to tell Huamin that we can't compare to them. We still have work to do at the police station, so we can't take too long. We'll leave early. I'll come back again when I'm on holiday. This place is really beautiful, Gao Ran sighed. Okay, I'll get someone to fill up your cars and drive them over. Qin Shu nodded. What about you two? When are you going back? Gao Ran asked. Tomorrow. We'll be home tomorrow night. Okay, we'll meet again when you guys get back. After breakfast, Qin Shu ordered someone to drive Gao Ran's car over. Then, he sent Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling off. To be honest, Huamin was quite reluctant to part with these two clowns, but he had no choice. After all, they had work to do. After they left, Huamin held Qin Shu's hand and asked, Where are we going today? We're going deep in the mountains today. Deep in the mountains? Huamin was stunned again. She had no idea what Qin Shu was planning, but Qin Shu's plans always made her eyes light up. Whatever he arranged was what she liked. There was no doubt about that. Qin Shu drove Huamin along the mountain road of the Yunding mountain range for about an hour. The road was getting more and more difficult to drive on. Qin Shu stopped the car, pointed to a medium-sized entrance, and said, This is the road up the mountain. The car can't go in. Let's walk in. It looks so eerie. Could there be some ferocious beasts? Huamin felt a little scared. No, don't worry, I'm here. That's right. With you around, the other beasts won't appear because you're the biggest beast. Huamin covered his mouth and laughed. Qin Shu was speechless. Since you're so arrogant, let's see how I'll torture you tonight. Qin Shu reached out his finger and flicked Huamin's head. I'm on my period. Can't you? Huamin said arrogantly. Honey, you seem to have misunderstood something. When I said torture, I meant tickling you. I see. Huamin felt a little awkward. What did you think it was? Qin Shu smirked. I didn't think anything of it. Let's go. Hurry up, don't waste time. Huamin knew he couldn't win against Qin Shu, so he changed the topic. Qin Shu held Huamin's hand and walked along the mountain road. The mountain road was bumpy, but because of the wooden steps, it became a lot more interesting. These steps are so beautiful. They must have cost a lot to make. Huamin lowered his head and sighed. These steps were just completed not long ago. I ordered people to design them. The cost was indeed high because the quality of normal wood wasn't good enough. After a long time, it would rot. It was too dangerous, so I ordered people to use special wood to make them. You ordered people to design them? Why? Huamin didn't understand. Huamian didn't think Qin Shu was the kind of person who would spend a lot of money to build stairs in the deep mountains and forests. There must be a reason, because you'll know when you see it later. Qin Shu was still mysterious and didn't want to say anything. Ever since we came to Yunding Mountain, you've been acting mysterious with me. Huamin looked at Qin Shu, amused. He didn't know what Qin Shu was up to. Chapter 393. Huamin knew that Qin Shu was being mysterious again. Maybe there were more surprises ahead of him. After walking for about 3 miles, Huamin was stunned by the beautiful scenery in front of her. The path was originally lined with yellow leaves because birch trees would turn golden in autumn. It was very beautiful. However, after walking for 3 miles, the yellow leaves suddenly turned into a deep red. It was as if magic had been cast on it. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Huamin looked at the red leaves around her and felt like she was in a fairy tale. Qin Shu looked up at the trees and said, "These are maple trees. Every autumn, they turn deep red for half a month. It's very beautiful. The hotel staff are local residents, so they told me about it. I thought it was a good idea, so I bought this area and planned to develop it into a red leaves tourist attraction. However, in order to preserve the original ecology of the trees, this place is only open for 15 days a year and only receives 200 tourists per day." Huamin gave him a thumbs up. "Good idea. I'll give you 32 likes. Do you like it?" "I do. It's super beautiful here. I never dreamed that there would be a place like this. If it was rainy, I would be walking on the path in the forest, looking at the red leaves in the rain. Wouldn't that be so romantic?" Qin Shu looked at Huamin's happy face and felt happy from the bottom of his heart. "Honey, when we're old, we can build a wooden mansion here and live in the depths of the red leaves. We can raise a flock of chickens, ducks, geese, and a dog. Then, we can plant some pure green vegetables. It'll be like the gods. We can also have a bunch of babies. That'll be even livelier," Qin Shu added. Huamin immediately rolled her eyes at him. "Do you think I'm a pig? A bunch of babies? It'll be great to have a soccer team. I'll make sure they make it to the World Cup," Qin Shu teased. Huamin couldn't stop laughing. She lowered her head, picked up a red maple leaf, and placed it on her left eye. It was beautiful. Qin Shu couldn't help but take out his phone and snap a picture of this beautiful scene. "Aren't you going to take a few pictures of such a beautiful scenery?" Qin Shu reminded. Huamin shook his head. "There are many beautiful sceneries that can't be captured by camera. Only by experiencing it and seeing it with your own eyes can you enjoy it the most. Sometimes the eyes are the best camera." "Honey, whatever you say is right." Qin Shu smiled and put his hand back into his pocket. Huamin was probably in a good mood, so he ran a few more steps up the stairs. "Mian, come back. You can't go there." Qin Shu's expression changed slightly as he reminded her. "Why not? Are you keeping a mistress in the depths of the jungle and keeping a mistress in a golden house?" Huamin laughed as he ran. He climbed 2 steps at a time. Qin Shu couldn't stop him and could only follow closely behind. "Keeping a mistress in a golden house. How could you think of something like that? You must be crazy." Qin Shu was helpless and could only follow his wife closely, afraid that an accident would happen. After all, this mountainous area was only recently developed, so it wasn't very safe. Within 5 miles was a shallow mountainous area. Normally, there would only be small squirrels, monkeys, and other small animals. If they walked further in, they might encounter something. Although they didn't hear of tigers or black bears nearby, they still had to be careful. Huamin ran for about a mile without stopping. When she was tired, she stopped and took in big breaths of fresh air. Suddenly, a flowery thing under a small tree to her left caught her attention. It was round. What a cute mushroom. She bent down and reached out to pick it. Qin Shu, who was a few steps behind her, was scared out of his wits. "Mian, don't." Mian immediately stopped what she was doing. At this moment, the round thing began to unfurl, one circle after another. Then it stuck out its dark red tongue. "Oh my God, there's a snake." Huamin screamed. It would have been fine if she didn't scream, but her scream startled the little snake. It immediately jumped up and pounced towards Huamin's arm. Chapter 394. In the blink of an eye, Qin Shu flew over and protected Huamin. The little snake bit Qin Shu's arm. Fortunately, it was autumn and the morning was a little chilly. Qin Shu was wearing a light gray long-sleeved casual shirt. The little snake didn't bite his skin directly, so it used less force. Qin Shu used his other hand to carefully pinch the little snake's weak spot. Then, he slowly placed it on the ground and suddenly let go. The little snake seemed to be frightened. It wagged its tail and slithered away into the grass. "You were bitten." "Let me see." Huamin's expression changed drastically. He lifted Qin Shu's sleeve. 2 rows of teeth marks were clearly visible, and blood slowly flowed out. "It's all my fault. You were bitten. Let me squeeze the blood out first. It might hurt a little. Bear with it." After speaking, Huamin pressed down with both hands, and the blood kept flowing out. "Aren't you supposed to help me with the drug? That's how it's portrayed on TV." Qin Shu reminded him. "How is that possible? What if the snake is poisonous?" "I'm dead for sure," Huamin said calmly. Qin Shu was speechless. "So after I die, you plan to run away with the billions in wealth, Lady Qin?" Qin Shu looked at Huamin quietly. "Both of us are doctors. You can fool people. You can fool others, but you can't fool me." This type of snake is called the Songhua snake, also known as the cauliflower snake. It's ferocious and not poisonous. Its main characteristic is that it's huge. Many of them are as thick as the mouth of a bull, so it's also known as the Songhua python. This type of snake can be found in more than 10 provinces in our country. The one just now was obviously a newborn snake. It's not a big deal. When I was in medical school, I studied this type of snake during my internship during the holidays. Qin Shu was helpless when he heard Huamin speak so frankly. In the end, he could only sigh calmly. That's why it's not fun to have such a rational wife. I was careless just now. This little fellow was coiled up here. It's round and I didn't see it clearly. I thought it was a small mushroom. But since you know what kind of snake it is, why did you still rush over? It's not like it's poisonous. Huamin took out a bottle of mineral water and washed Qin Shu's wound with heartache. Then, he took out a tissue and gently wiped the wound for him. "I was afraid that it would hurt if I bit you," Qin Shu replied, feeling wronged. Huamin's heart was filled with warmth. Qin Shu couldn't bear to let her suffer even a little bit of pain. He really spoiled her to the extreme. No wonder Gao Ran and the others often said that they would be tortured to death by Qin Shu, this wife-protecting maniac. After treating the wound, Huamin held Qin Shu's arm and walked down the mountain. "Honey, do you know why people are afraid when they see a snake?" Even if they know that it's not real, even if it's just a small snake, they will still be afraid when they see it, Huamin asked seriously. "It's an instinctive reaction," Qin Shu replied casually. Huamin shook his head. "An instinctive reaction is when you see a snake often and get bitten by it. But many people are scared when they see a snake for the first time. This is called genetic influence. It's a problem that occurs during evolution. In the past, I read an article about this from an instructor in the United States. I'm not very interested in this, so I didn't study it," Qin Shu replied slowly. Huamin nodded. "I read that article. Scientists first locked mice in a glass house and released white smoke. The mice didn't react. Later on, every time they released white smoke, they would electrocute the mice. Later on, the mice slowly became afraid of white smoke. When the mice gave birth to the 3rd generation of mice, they didn't need to be electrocuted. They would be scared as soon as they released white smoke. This means that when our ancestors evolved from gorillas to humans, they must have been bitten by snakes thousands of times. Isn't this amazing? Indeed, there are too many mysteries in nature. We humans only know the surface." Qin Shu sighed in his heart. However, it was amazing that a small matter like being bitten by a snake could trigger a conversation between the husband and wife about genetics. Therefore, when a genius husband married a genius wife, even their daily lives were enriched. When the two returned to the hotel from the mountain, Qin Shu received a phone call. Then, his expression changed. "What's wrong?" We're going back now? Something happened at the company. Chin Chu's expression was serious. Chapter 395. Imagine. Huomin nodded, knowing that it was an emergency. Otherwise, Chin Chu wouldn't have looked so serious. Chin Chu sped the entire way, reducing a 5-hour trip to 4 hours. When they arrived at Sea City, it was still dark outside. "I'm going to the company. You go home and get some rest," Chin Chu said gently. Huomin nodded and got out of the car at the entrance of Imperial Park. Chin Chu drove all the way to GK's headquarters. "Dad, why are you looking for me in such a hurry?" As soon as Chin Chu walked in, he saw his father sitting in his office chair with a bitter look on his face. Obviously, it wasn't something good. "I saw yesterday that the finance department allocated a sum of money for the foundation on Yunding Mountain. It's as high as 50 million yuan, right? 50 million is just the initial estimate. There will be more in the future. Yunding Mountain is located in a mountainous area, and many residents don't have electricity or water. Most of their children can't afford to go to school because even the schools can't support them, and they don't have enough teachers. What does that have to do with you? It's our country's business, and you're an entrepreneur. What you need to do is make money, expand GK's business model, and increase our turnover. Since when do we need to put so much effort into charity? Every year, we'll make a symbolic donation. You don't need to take it so seriously. You're a businessman, not a philanthropist, do you understand?" Chin Yumin was furious. It was obvious that his son didn't discuss this with him. 50 million yuan wasn't a lot, but he didn't feel good about using it for charity. "Dad, you're so knowledgeable. You should know that money can come back after it's spent. Money is endless, but our lives are limited. Why don't we do something that's within our means? Yunding Mountain is one of the projects I'm focusing on. Once it's fully developed, there'll be an endless stream of money, but we should also benefit the local residents, not bring disaster to them and destroy their homes. We're businessmen, and it's true that we make money, but I don't think there's anything wrong with doing things that benefit the people. Don't try to explain to me. I don't think you would do something like this. Tell me the truth. Was this Huomin's idea? She instigated you, didn't she? Only a poor commoner would be willing to do such a thing." Chin Yumin knew that his son and Huomin were together, so he blamed it all on Huomin. Hearing his father blaming Huomin, Chin Chu was very unhappy. "Dad, this was my own idea. It has nothing to do with Huomin. Don't try to fool me. Do you think I don't know anything? And you even named it the Mian Foundation? That's ridiculous, son. Look at you. Is this something an entrepreneur like you should do?" Chin Yumin slammed the table angrily. "I admit that the fund is named after her, which shows how important she is to me." Chin Chu admitted generously. "Nonsense. I've already informed the finance department to withdraw the 50 million. I won't spend it on things that shouldn't be spent. Dad, you can't do this. I'm the CEO, and you're already semi-retired. You shouldn't interfere with me." Chin Chu stared at his father and warned him seriously. "Chu, I admit that you're an excellent businessman, and you have a strong ability to make money, but sometimes your methods are still very childish. I can't agree with you. I won't agree with this. That's it." Chin Yumin seemed to have decided on his own idea. He didn't agree with the establishment of the Mian Foundation. "Okay, Dad, I'm officially resigning with you now. What did you say?" Chin Yumin suddenly turned around and stared at his son angrily. Chapter 396. I'm officially resigning. I don't think the position of GK's president is suitable for me. What are you doing? I'm not doing anything. I'm an adult and have my own thoughts. If you can't let me do things my own way, then I'd rather quit. Do you know what you're giving up? Chin Yumin was furious. "I know that GK was built by you and my grandfather. I was just lucky enough to be reincarnated. It's not mine, so I've never thought about taking it for myself. I can leave this place with Huomin and start over in a new place. I'm still young and haven't tried many things. If you can give me this opportunity, I'll be very grateful." Chin Chu's eyes were filled with sincerity when he said this. He wasn't trying to provoke his father. He really did want to. GK's CEO wasn't a position he wanted to be, but he had no choice. It was his family business, and it was a responsibility in responsibility. However, if his father said that he didn't need to take over, then he would be completely free. With his current status as a doctor at Harvard Medical School, he could probably open a hospital and live the rest of his life with Huamin. Therefore, money, fame, and status were not tempting to him at all. You're my only son. Are you worthy of your mother? And I've worked so hard to raise you with these words. Dad, you're not me, so you can't empathize with me. I don't want to say how much I hate you and Mom for certain things, but the truth is, you and Mom made me fall harder than anyone else on the road to adulthood. To this day, I will respect your decisions and opinions. I only have one thing to say. If the Foundation doesn't approve, I will resign immediately, and if you deny any of my decisions in the future, I will resign immediately. You? Qin Yumin was furious. What kind of son did he and his wife raise after 20 years? Qin Shu, you disappoint me. Qin Yumin looked at his son and said with deep meaning, To be honest, Dad, you and Mom disappoint me as well, but I don't blame you. You can't give up on Huamin, can you? No matter what I say. Qin Yumin asked one last time. After 3 seconds of hesitation, Qin Shu raised his head and said slowly, Dad, Huamin and I are married. What did you say? Qin Yumin took a few steps back and stared at his son with wide eyes in shock. Qin Shu added, We're officially married. Even though we didn't have a wedding, we've already registered our marriage at the Civil Affairs Bureau. We're legally married, so Huamin is already my wife. How could I give up on the wife that I love the most? Qin Yumin's heart raced when he heard about his son's marriage. He couldn't accept it. He was just trying to convince his son to give up on that unworthy commoner girl. He had a feeling that it was Huamin who influenced Qin Shu's thinking and made him a commoner. He was no longer cold, no longer decisive, and no longer like a ruthless businessman. When did you guys get married? Qin Yumin asked with great difficulty. 4 months ago, not long after I came back to China, Qin Shu replied faintly. Qin Yumin felt his brain buzz. He lost the ability to think for a moment. This blow was too big for him. Chapter 397. Qin Shu thought for a moment and continued, Dad, I'll give you one day to think about it. If you respect my decision, then I'll continue to work at GK. If you don't think I'm suitable and impulsive, then I won't come back to work starting tomorrow. Thank you for giving me this chance. Take care of yourself, that's all. Qin Shu turned around and left after he finished speaking. Qin Yumin fell back into his office chair with a look of defeat on his face. Sir, there's an emergency meeting in a bit. Yang anxiously said when he saw that the president was about to leave. It's fine as long as the president is here, Qin Shu said as he left the company. When he got home, Huamin was still cleaning up the house. She wore a cartoon apron and mopped the floor with a mop. It was good that the house was spacious, but cleaning up took a lot of effort. After a long time, she still hadn't finished mopping the first floor. However, she knew that this was her home, so she had something to look forward to. Huamin was a loss for words as she mopped the floor while humming the theme song from Bonnie Bears. When Qin Shu walked in, she immediately turned around. You're back so early. I thought you'd be working until midnight again. Why are you doing this? Qin Shu strode over and snatched the mop from Huamin's hands. I had nothing to do, and I haven't been home for a few days, so the house is covered in dust. Us medical students are all misophobic. Haha, we can't tolerate dirt. You're on your period, so you can't do this. I'll get a part-time worker to come over later, Qin Shu said, his heart aching. Huamin smiled slightly. Please, Mr. Qin, I'm not that pretentious. I'm on my period, not pregnant. This isn't heavy labor, so it won't affect me. That still won't do be good. Qin Shu grabbed Huamin's hand and sat him down on the sofa. Then he quietly took off his jacket, picked up the mop, and began mopping. How can this be done by a man? Put it down. Huamin really felt that Qin Shu was not suitable for this. This is also my home. Why can't I do it? Hurry up and rest. I'll do it. Qin Shu was indeed very efficient. It didn't take long for the downstairs to be cleaned up, and even the blind spots were cleaned up. Finally, after tidying up, he sat on the sofa and hugged Huamin with one hand. He suddenly felt very relaxed. What's wrong? Did something good happen? You're snickering. Huamin didn't understand. Yes. What good news? Can you share it with me? If I quit and stop being GK's president, would you still like me? Qin Chu teased Huamin on purpose. Of course not. You're not the president anymore. Who would like you? Qin Chu was speechless. To be honest, I have a great plan. If I suddenly quit being GK's president, we'll take our savings and travel around the world for a year. Then, we'll choose a place with the most beautiful scenery and settle down. It doesn't matter if it's a small town, a small village, or a big city. As long as we like it, we'll open a private hospital there. I'll be the doctor, and you'll be the nurse. No, I want to be the director, Huamin interrupted with a smile. Okay, you'll be the director, and I'll be the vice director. Then, we'll live the rest of our lives in peace and happiness. Sounds good, but it's just a thought. You're the only one in your family. If you don't become the president, who will? Is your dad going to sell GK? No. Qin Chu shook his head. Huamin leaned his head on Qin Chu's shoulder and quietly asked, Did you and your dad fight? We didn't fight, but we had a little argument. Qin Chu told her the truth. Was it because of me? Huamin snuggled into Qin Chu's arms and asked. Qin Chu lowered his head and lovingly patted her head. Lady Qin, can you be any smarter? I think it's because of the Mian font. Otherwise, they wouldn't have named it after me. It's such a big deal. That's not the problem. Don't worry. Qin Chu comforted her. But Huamin wanted to say something, but Qin Chu interrupted her. Honey, when will your relative leave? Qin Chu asked eagerly. Chapter 398. Why are you asking this? What do you think? Qin Chu looked at her meaningfully. Why did she feel like Qin Chu's gaze was perverted? It'll take a few more days. Okay, then I won't think about anything for the next few days. Then what are you thinking about? Huamin looked at him, amused. I always hear people talk about running red lights, but I'm not that kind of person. I'm a law-abiding citizen. Qin Chu replied seriously. Running red lights? Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry at how Qin Chu came up with such a dirty idea. During dinner, the two of them went to Axine's Ramen. While they were free, they called for a cleaner to clean up the neighborhood. Huamin didn't expect to see Su Yu at Axine's Ramen. After all, with his status, he didn't seem like someone who would come to a small place like this to eat. Inside the ramen restaurant. Hey, why are you eating ramen at this crappy place? Is there something wrong with your brain? Lord Su? Wei Liao was someone whose biological clock was reversed. He usually slept during the day and went out at night to have fun. Before he even woke up, Su Yu dragged him out to eat and told him that it was a special place. When they arrived, they realized that it was a small ramen restaurant in a small alley behind high school. What made him speechless was that the ramen cost 2 yuan per bowl. Hurry up and eat. Stop talking, Su Yu said impatiently. So, Lord Su, don't tell me that the special thing about this place is that the price is special. 2 yuan per bowl? When did you become so tight on money? Is the turnover of your company too tight recently? Come on, tell me, I'll give you some money, Wei Liao teased. Su Yu still didn't say anything and quietly ate his ramen. Wei Liao felt like he was a little different today. Just as he was about to continue teasing him, he saw Qin Chu and Huamin walk in. The two of them were holding hands and looked very intimate. Huamian was only wearing a black leather jacket with a white t-shirt underneath, dark blue jeans, and a pair of heels. Her hair was tied up into the most popular bun, making her look very cute, like a nude. Qin Chu was dressed as usual, and his cuffs were adorned with real South African diamonds. Because they didn't want to attract attention, they always drove Hua means Volkswagen instead of Maybach when they came to small places like this. Hey, look who's here. Wei Liao kept glancing at Su Yu. Su Yu turned around and froze for a second. Then, he turned back and continued eating his noodles. Huamin saw Su Yu as soon as he walked in, but she pretended not to see him, especially when she was with Qin Chu. She also wouldn't take the initiative to greet Su Yu. It wasn't like her. Boss, 2 bowls of ramen, Huamin ordered. Okay, please wait a moment. What kind of soda do you want, Mr. Qin? Huamin stood up and walked towards the fridge. Same as you, Qin Chu responded gently. Huamin smiled and took out 2 glass bottles of soda from the fridge. Then, he walked back to the table. I want soda too. You go get me a bottle, Su said to Wei Liao. Wei Liao imitated Huamin's tone and asked, Lord Su, which one do you want? The same as that table, Su said capriciously. Wei Liao smiled as he stood up and walked toward the fridge. Do you want to go over and say hi? Qin Chu knew that Huamin knew Su. She mentioned it herself. No, I don't know him that well. Huamin shook his head and refused. Qin Chu didn't say anything else. Su finished his ramen in a few bites. Wei Liao stood up and said, Let's go. Boss, another bowl. Although Su called out boss, he was indeed looking at Huamin. Do you want more? I want to throw up. Lord Su, please forgive me. Wei Liao looked disgusted. From the moment they walked in until now, the two of them had eaten about 6 bowls of ramen. Although it was 2 yuan per bowl, he couldn't be greedy. Chapter 399. I'm not full yet, Su said capriciously. Just then, the boss walked out and smiled embarrassedly. Sir, the last 2 bowls of noodles were ordered by the 2 customers. We don't have enough noodles right now. If you want to make more noodles, you'll have to wait for about 20 minutes. Is that okay? No, I can't wait. Su refused immediately. Then what should we do? The boss looked troubled. Su glanced at Huamin and Qin Chu and said, Give me their noodles. I can pay more. 2 yuan for a bowl of noodles, right? I'll give you 200 yuan, and I'll eat that bowl of noodles. After speaking, Su capriciously took out his wallet and took out 200 yuan bills. Sir, it's not about the money. There are regular customers. This is really against the rules. In my place, my words are the rules. Su didn't seem to be convinced. He was arguing with the boss. Qin Chu stood up and said, Boss, give him this bowl of noodles. I can eat with me first. Mr. Qin, how can I accept this? The boss was obviously very grateful to Qin Chu, but he was really embarrassed. It's okay. Qin Chu didn't seem to care. Unexpectedly, before the boss could say anything, Su stood up and said, Mr. Qin, you're so generous. You can even give me the noodles. Can you give me the rest? Qin Chu looked at him coldly. I can only give you the noodles. As for the rest, don't even think about it. Huh, I thought you were generous, but it turns out you're also a stingy person. Su, don't be childish. Finish eating and get out of here. Don't cause trouble here. Huamin couldn't take it anymore. From the moment she walked in, Su had been looking for trouble. Now, he was even mocking Qin Chu. How about she take this lying down? Su glanced at Huamin and opened his mouth, but no words came out. Wei Liao pulled Su's arm. Let's go. We still have something to do later. In the end, Su didn't continue arguing with Qin Chu and left with Wei Liao. Su is that kind of person. Don't lower yourself to his level. When he's childish, he's just like a child. Huamin looked at Qin Chu and said, Yes. Qin Chu nodded and didn't say anything else. It was supposed to be a happy ramen, but because of Su's interference, it was no longer happy. Fortunately, Qin Chu didn't ask much, so Huamin didn't worry too much. The next morning, Huamin drove to work. When he arrived at South Side, he saw that the office was filled with thousands of red roses. They covered the entire office. What's going on? Huamin was confused. I don't know. It was delivered this morning. It said that it was for you, the nurse said enviously. Huamin felt that other than Su, no one else would do something so perverted. So, he angrily called the number in his memory. Su was sleeping soundly. Usually, when he was sleeping, no one dared to disturb him. Otherwise, the consequences would be dire. How many times have I told you not to call me in the morning? Do you want to die? Su cursed with his eyes closed. Su, stop sending flowers. You're too perverted. When he heard Huamin's voice, Su immediately woke up. He opened his eyes with a hint of surprise. How did you get my number? Bro, that's not the point. The point is stop sending flowers, Huamin replied angrily. Chapter 400. What's wrong? You don't like it? Whether I like it or not depends on who gave it to me. Sue you, you're the young master of the Sue family. Don't do things that will make you lose fans, okay? I don't know what's wrong with you that you can't let go of me. Anyway, you're causing trouble for my work and my life. Please don't do this. Huamin, I'm giving you flowers because I like to give them to you. So you didn't say the words, I like you, out loud in the end. Although he knew that he already liked Huamin, he was still a little embarrassed to confess so directly. You like to give me flowers, so I like to accept them? What's wrong with you? Let me tell you, if you continue being like this, don't blame me for scratching your stupid Lamborghini. You're welcome to scratch me. Suyu smiled even more happily. Pervert. Huamin hung up the phone fiercely. Ever since Qinshu was no longer obstructed, Suyu's subordinates found a lot of information about Huamin, including information about when he was young. He also found out that Huamin was actually a person with high EQ and IQ. He became famous at a young age. Unfortunately, Qinshu's romantic relationship caused a family tragedy. In the end, he gave up his bright future. No wonder Huamin's medical skills were so good. It turned out that he was a medical genius, but he was forced to become a nurse in real life. He also found out that Huamin's favorite restaurant when he was in school was Aoxian's Ramen. Huamin had a best friend called Zhu Lingling. She was also his only good friend after so many years. Huamin also had a mother who lived in a poor area and ran a small supermarket. Huamin also had a younger brother who studied at a university in the city. He was a family member that Huamin doted on a lot. Huamin liked to wear fresh clothes. He didn't like to wear makeup. He liked to wear his hair in a ponytail or a bun, or let it down. Huamin had an ex-girlfriend who was an ophthalmologist. They had broken up and gotten married. Huamin was the prettiest girl in her high school class, not because of her looks, but because of her magnanimous personality. He realized that the more he knew, the deeper he fell. He was interested in everything about Huamin. Yesterday, when he was at Aoxian's Ramen, he ate for so long, but it wasn't because he wanted to savor the taste of the noodles. Instead, he wanted to experience the youth of Huamin, which he had not participated in during those years. I want to walk the path you once walked, the people you once accompanied, the crazy things you once did. Suyu suddenly realized, what the fuck? Since when did I become a sentimental artistic youth? Suyu's stubbornness gave Huamin a headache, and he liked to do some extremely childish things. For example, deliberately tailgating, for example, delivering pig trotters in the middle of the night, for example, a bed of roses early in the morning. He thought it was romantic, but to Huamin, it was impossibly childish. Looking at the roses on the floor, Huamin couldn't take it anymore. You guys take the flowers out and throw them away. Huh? Don't take them away. That would be a waste. Then distribute them to every department. Tell them that it's a benefit for South Side, Huamin ordered. Before the nurses could say anything, Huamin's phone rang. It was a video call. Hey, Mr. Qin. Because they were going to video call, Huamin closed the door to his office. Are you busy? Not yet. I've got here, so I need to organize a lot of documents. I forgot to make you some sugar water this morning. I'll have you bring it over in a bit. It's okay. I have some in my office, too. I'll make one myself. Huamin smiled. Behind you, why are there so many flowers? Qinshu suddenly noticed that Huamin's office had become a sea of flowers. This is a benefit for Southside. It's going to be distributed to every department in a bit. Do all hospitals give out red roses when they give out benefits? Qinshu asked with a sharp gaze. Chapter 401. Our director has a weird taste, haha. Huamin smiled awkwardly. Qinshu didn't ask any more questions because he knew how Huamin felt about Suyu, so he wasn't worried. What time do you get off work today? I don't know yet. I took 3 days off, so there's a lot of work waiting for me. Huamin looked at the pile of documents and felt a headache coming on. If you get off work early, let's have dinner together. Okay. Huamin nodded. Remember to drink brown sugar water. Qinshu reminded her in a serious tone. I know, Tang Sanzang. Huamin knew that Qinshu was a man of few words, but why did he become Tang Sanzang when it came to her? He was speechless. After hanging up the video call, the two of them went back to work. In the afternoon, Huamin received a notice from the finance department that the engineering department was going to use the Hua Foundation's money to repair the back garden. Huamin's expression changed immediately. He took off his white lab coat and rushed to the engineering department. The manager of the engineering department, Feng Yiqing, was rumored to be Deputy Director Guo's brother-in-law. He was an arrogant bully. Apparently, he often misused the company's funds. Since the amount wasn't large, Deputy Director Guo turned a blind eye to it. No one else in the hospital dared to report this to President Wu because they were afraid of offending the Deputy Director. This made him even more arrogant. Director Feng? Huamin knocked on the door. Hey, Huamin, come in. Feng Yiqing was quite enthusiastic when he saw Huamin. Huamin walked in and asked without delay. I just received a call from the finance department. They said that you're going to use 3 million yuan from the Hua Foundation to repair the back garden of our hospital. Is that right? Yes, that's right. It was an emergency, so I didn't have time to tell you. Actually, according to the normal procedure, I should have told you. After all, you're the president of the Hua Foundation, haha. I'm sorry, Director Feng, but I didn't approve the funds. Once the Hua Xiqian Foundation is used, it needs to be signed by me or Mr. Hua Xiqian himself. Didn't the finance department tell you? Ah, yes. You came just in time. You can sign it for me directly, Feng Yiqing said shamelessly. I don't think you understand what I mean. I don't agree with using the Hua Foundation's money to repair the garden, so I can't approve this money. Why? Wasn't the Hua Foundation established to contribute to our hospital? I'm not using it for myself. It's for the sake of our nursing home. Look at the lawn in the back garden. It's been trampled. It definitely needs to be replaced. Also, the pavilion and the arch bridge are so old. If our environment isn't up to standard, we'll be laughed at by the industry. Huamin waved his hand and interrupted Feng Yiqing. I don't think you understand. The Hua Foundation was established by Mr. Hua Xiqian Foundation. It mainly helps the residents who need emergency treatment but can't afford the deposit. It doesn't serve the hospital. Our hospital is a public hospital, so the government will allocate funds to repair it every year. You should ask the deputy director for the money instead of the Hua Foundation. I know, but my brother-in-law is on a business trip. He's not here. Who am I supposed to ask? How about this? You sign it first, and it should be lent to me. When my brother-in-law comes back, he'll transfer it to you. I'm sorry, but I can't do that. That's a separate matter. Also, I don't think repairing the back garden is that urgent. It's nothing compared to human lives. Hey, Xiaohua, that's not right. You're new here, right? I've been working here for almost 7 years. You should know that helping others is helping yourself. It's not good for you to go against me, right? Feng Yiqing began to threaten Huamin when he saw that Huamin refused to sign the papers. You're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.